Welcome. It's the Long Coat Mafia, the internet's most hated and mafia-themed geek podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of the internet's most hated mafia-themed geek podcast. The Long Coat Mafia podcast is I, the Reverend Godfather, the show's main host and frontman. And this week is a potpourri of a Skyped-in hopeful, or I should say hostful. So, forewarning before we begin this Skype call, and that is I was tweaking a few things, experimenting with a few things, and learning with some of the software that we use to do Skype calls, and thus I learned a new trick when it comes to recording things, and that is using the software that we have. I can now record stuff off our desktop other than Skype. But in the process, I forgot to turn something off, and thus Big Candy is coming in with a slight little echo, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'll let all of you decide. So, and I do apologize for that. More on our experimentations after the Skype call. So, I'm going to step back. I'm going to let the Skype call happen right about now. Hey folks, welcome back. I am joined once again through Skype via but joining me through Skype is the one, the only, Big Candy, and the big reason why he's on Skype is because I wanted to have him as best I could in studio, quote unquote, which would have meant the daily grind, but they were booked this day, so, and I'm having memory of that executive soundboard box. Now it's your turn, isn't it? But with that farting silly party.
Yeah. It's much fun. I had put it down, but then I picked it back up.
You put it down, you picked it back up. Get down, get back up. Get back down again.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, yeah. I'll stop on that one. Someone's going to think I'm shitting myself. Alright.
So, as always, a little bit of a catch up and recap. How's things going, Big Candy?
Well, I was completely vindicated in the Mueller report, so that's good.
No Russian collusion?
No Russian collusion.
Too bad it was only 527 pages long.
Son of a bitch.
Folks at home, if you're listening now, we will explain this in-joke in due time. But until then, there will probably be 509 more jokes. But... Oh! Oh, but they will be explained shortly, I swear. Really, I swear. No, I don't swear. But I will. But, son of a... folks at home, you kind of heard a few weeks ago my recap of 4-State Comic-Con. But we'll get to Big Candy's in a second. I don't think you fully... recapped on how he's been doing, Big Candy. How have you been doing besides are you being safe out there? No runs with the law?
Not that I know of.
And by the sound of it, I don't think you are a deep fake and the missus hasn't done anything to you yet.
No, not yet.
We don't use deep fakes.
I am not currently being held prisoner in a basement. The address is
527 East Loudon Street, Winchester, Virginia.
Yeah, right.
Yes, we'll be using these number jokes all night long.
Right.
And by the way, if you want to play the drinking game tonight, if you hear 509 in any shape or form, 527 in any shape or form, or you bastards in any shape or form, please take a drink with the usual suspects of allegedly and mispronouncing any names or addresses. So,
damn. These people waste.
So,
So yeah, nothing new, nothing crazy, just same old shit. Forest State, we did meet up at Forest State briefly, and took the fam up there to that, and I had a good time that day. My wifey finally made her connection with Monique Dupree, who she'd been following on various social media aspects for a while. She was really nervous to meet her, more so than anyone else. Like, she walks right up to Gene Snitsky and just like, hi, because she'd met him before and was like super just whatever. But I had to poke and prod her and like try to get her to go talk to Monique because she like had a bit of a girl crush. So we ended up talking to her for quite some time, probably about an hour, and ended up getting a DVD from her and stuff. And like, she was super nice. And anybody who doesn't know who Monique Dupree, a lot of independent film wrestling, and happens to be Tony Todd's sister.
Yeah, she is a very strong and independent woman. She's done a lot. If you want to hear more about Monique Dupree, we do have an interview from her from last year's Forest State Comic-Con. So we do suggest you go into our archives and listen to it if you haven't already. And you'll hear how much of a wonderful woman she is, her various things she's done in her career, and how she does those things, and everything else. She was a wonderful person to speak with, so I'll say that, and that's our plug. So,
yeah,
in regards to that,
her and the dude that was sitting at the booth where you stood with me for the longest time, telling like old wrestling stories, because I guess he was kind of like he was an independent wrestler, and I guess he had worked as a what do you call it, a jabroni in one of the major things, but apparently he had worked with some big names and stuff, and he had some really funny stories to tell. That was really the highlight of my day. We didn't really do a whole lot when we were there.
No, the person that was with Monique.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think you fully recognized who he was.
Who?
Remember in Skeleton Key 2, the other person that kind of got bit with the dreadlocks? That's him.
Okay.
He's like he was like the geeky black guy in it. That was very soft spoken.
Right.
Yeah, that was him. That was him.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he said we were talking a little bit, even though Monique was there, and he was like, he was just telling me, it's like, she's a very tough. She's very sweet. Again, he agrees with everything, that she is a very strong, independent woman, but he said she's a very tough girlfriend because of her brother being Tony Todd, because they could get in a tiff and all of a sudden he'll get a call maybe about 15 minutes later with Tony Todd on the other end. You made my sister angry.
For anybody who follows him on social media, particularly Twitter, it's her fault. The reason why you're getting notifications at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, over and over every day, it's her fault, because she's the one that showed him how to use social media, especially Twitter. And I don't know, do you follow him?
Yeah, I follow Tony.
He retweets a lot. He's the Donald Trump of freaking like independent movies, I guess. He just freaking like tweets all day, and it's like, Tony, chill.
and we've met him before. He comes off, even though he can be very intimidating by his physical presence, he's probably the biggest softie out there.
Right.
So, and we have nothing against Tony Todd either, but just to hear.
Well, we did have an interesting discussion with her about that. I mean, you may agree with this, you may not. That in the pantheon of horror movie characters, Candyman gets left out. And from what I feel like Candyman is kind of OG.
Yeah, he is. he does get left out a lot, and he definitely. I'll agree with this. All day, every day. Tony Todd deserves a lot more credit than he's not getting. If I'm phrasing that correctly.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
He deserves a lot more credit because not only just of Candyman. Granted, when I think there was this Ultimate guy. It was like this video best horror things back. This was like the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. There was only 2 DVDs made. One was Ultimate Horror People, and the other one was Best Fights, Ultimate Fight Things. And Tony Todd was in that top, I think top 10 or whatever it was. But that's it. Everything else, it's kind of on the wayside. He doesn't. Yeah. He deserves a lot more credit. He's been in so much, and I think I might have said it to Monique's face that he comes off as very classical instructed.
Right.
You know, he's like he was classically trained. So, and
we were talking about it because you remember there was a poster, like a drawing that I looked at. It was like a framed drawing that this guy did, and his drawings were phenomenal. He did like wrestlers and horror people and stuff, and it had all these people on it, but no Candyman. There was, of course, the usual suspects on there. There was Freddy, there was Jason, Michael Myers, but I mean, at one point you even get Jigsaw, and I was like, and like I don't know, there was another oddball in there. Could have been like something weird.
Candyman had like 3 or 4 films.
Yeah, but no Candyman.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know. He's pretty OG as far as like I'm concerned. Like he should be right up there with the rest of them.
Yeah, you got to figure he's got 2 power sets. He has not only does that he have that hook, he has an aspect of control of bees, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So something like that. So he definitely deserves a lot more credit like I said, he deserves the credit, and I'll agree with you, he's not getting that credit.
Right. But so I missed out on Ken Hunt. I really wanted to talk to him, but he was busy like every time I went over there, and rightfully so. The dude's awesome. He likes to talk and stuff, so I was just giving him his space with other people. I've already talked to him twice. The cast of Bigfoot exclamation point was there, including yourself.
Right. That was an odd. I think I said it in that show. It was a very odd feeling.
Yeah.
To like, well, we want you to sign this stuff now. Wait, what?
Huh?
It's like, even though Miss Rossi was there, like, you do realize Miss Rossi is the biggest person here. The biggest bill on the movie. Grant, it's like, why do you want me to sign it? Matt had a bigger part in it.
How funny is that? Like, we pretty much cut our teeth on her as far as interviews go. But and it comes full circle. Now you're in a movie with her.
By proxy.
Okay, by proxy. But irregardless, you're at an event signing DVDs. How funny is that?
It's just weird, and it's like I told Mark Byrne, the director, that it's a weird feeling. And I thank him for it. It's like I told him, it's like, oh, look at that IMDb credit, and it's like, I got an IMDb credit. How awesome is that? Wait a minute, I got an IMDb credit, and it's that duality, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
And I think also as well, somebody here in Martinsburg, I don't know if it was somebody that in town that worked on the movie as well, or was at Hagerstown and picked up the movie, because I was leaving the laundromat one day, and somebody drove by in a pickup shouting out, "Bigfoot!" So
that's funny.
So it was weird. It was just weird and strange. Overall, it's a good show. I do think he's currently helping out with a live, as of this recording, he's currently helping out with a live charity stream, and that is Josh from Victims and Villains. He allowed us to record the Ashcan premiere panel. And it was the usual, I want to say, aspect of, as long as you give me the file too, I'll be happy to let you mirror it. I'm like, okay. So,
right on.
And how'd you enjoy? I know the audio wasn't really the best. How'd you enjoy that Snitsky panel?
I thought it was good. I thought he was funny and cordial, and answered all the questions and filled everybody in on what it is he was a part of with wrestling and how he got to where he got to and everything. I thought that I thought it was actually really good.
To me, it made the initial interview we did with him. I think it was like 2 years ago,
right?
Maybe 3, something like that. That we did with him. That I did with him. It didn't sound like. At least he's like that all the time.
Right.
So it was just a little bit of a relief. It's like at least.
Well, and the other thing is, you did not prepare for that interview whatsoever. If you remember,
right.
You just kind of did it on the spot. So you were only going off of what little information you had on the dude. This is in your infancy, I guess, as a podcaster and as an interviewer. So. This is it was rough, but I think you made it.
Wrestling is not normally my forte.
Right.
But you've known me to. It's not my forte, but I'm going to just jump right into it, both feet, and let's see how this handles. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it does not. So if it doesn't, sometimes you guys get
wrestlers are funny. I think. In a way, sometimes they appreciate you just trying to talk to them as a person, but a lot of times I feel like they want you to know the business because it's easier for them to talk about the business when you understand it.
Right.
I don't know. That's what I've gathered. I don't know.
Hopefully, I know this was Michelle's first. For those of you who don't know, Michelle is. Lloyd's fiance, and Lloyd has been on the show a number of times. He is like my secondary person that I love having on the show. And this was her first show ever. Literally. And I had to kind of tell her, it's like, listen, just don't go around snapping too many. I know you want to, but don't go around snapping too many photos because I know you don't really understand con culture like I do, because I know you do understand con culture. You've been doing it for about as long as I have, if not a little bit longer.
You took me to my first con.
But you've been going to music shows too.
Well, music shows. I don't really count that as con, though.
Right.
I mean, you took me to my first con, which is Baltimore Comic Con, so.
So roughly about the same, give or take a year or two. Mm-hmm. So. Either way, it's like you don't really understand. I was telling, it's like you don't understand the con culture. There is one there. It's very complex. And I said, told her, it's like, listen, there is also a difference because a lot of folks at this show, I know because not just because of being fans of who they are, I know them because I was also on the other side of the table.
Right.
And there leaves, if I snap a picture of them, they're not going to have two gripes about it because they know who I am already.
Right.
You, on the other hand, they might have a gripe.
Right.
So it's something I'm a little bit realizing too. So it's weird. It is weird.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing you can tell her is when people are there working, don't take a picture of them. Unless you ask and they say it's cool. If it's just people that are fans, that's one thing. But it becomes rude when you take pictures of people that are working, because a lot of times they offer prices for pictures, or they offer pictures of their own, and they don't want you necessarily snapping a picture of them when they're not maybe at their best or something. So.
Yeah, it depends on the person. It's like, again, sometimes even I could get away with it. Yeah. Again, because
and then I did see there's also some booths this year. I don't know if you noticed this, but some of the booths actually that had artwork. They said specifically, do not take pictures of my booth.
That's why I try to kind of not really focus on a lot of the stuff in the booths when I did the walking tour. Yeah. That way, people kind of got the idea of what the vendor was selling, but not really focusing on what they had, especially a lot of the artwork.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that was because of copyright information. Because there was one guy there that was doing coasters and stuff. Right. But I noticed a lot of the stuff that he was doing was definitely not his own. It was a lot of copyright. He would be sued out the wazoo if a couple of those people companies would get a hold of what he was doing. Especially not so much with I guess movie properties, but the biggest thing would be the sports properties that he was doing. You can't NFL. They don't care if you're making wooden keychains. They want a cut of it.
Right. That. Speaking to a couple of people that do that sort of thing, what I kind of heard from them is that it's the whole copyright thing is kind of weird. If they're making 5,000 enough for the table and hotel and maybe a little bit extra, the properties like Marvel or the NFL, they don't really care. But it's when you start making tens of thousands of dollars, is when they start to care. Well,
I've heard that about Marvel and stuff like that. But NFL, I've heard that they crack down hard. Sports memorabilia licensing is big money. And they don't want anybody doing anything as far as team logos, nothing without them paying for the license. I was reading about that in a what was I reading about? I was reading about something because I was looking into doing licensed products at one point because I was like, man, it's really not that hard to stick logos on anything and make money off of it. And I was like, I wonder how much it costs. And I was looking into licensing. It's expensive. And they were talking about independent vendors were talking about how much it costs to get independent licensing. And it's not just from the NFL. You have to get it from each team. And it's only and it's limited to what you can do. It's crazy. I was reading up on specific for baseball, and it was nuts. Because it gets all into the players and all kinds of stuff. Now you can get away with stuff, and be non-specific. Say if there's a player Aaron Judge for the New York Yankees. You can put his number on something, he's number 99. You can use the team colors and 99, and as long as it's not an exact font and the colors are just off enough that they're not actual team colors, you can actually use that. But what you can't do is put New York Yankees on it.
Weird.
Yeah.
And kind of speaking of sports, what a way to segue into our next topic. And that being Wrestlemania.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy. Wrestlemania. WWE and WWE, you bastards. What, as some of you out there might have realized or saw, we kind of did a... First off, what do you think of WrestleMania as a whole?
I found it a bit underwhelming. I liked it, but I didn't like a lot of the aspects of it. And a lot of the matches that I thought were going to be, amazing, they didn't turn out being that amazing.
I think that was the overall what the consensus was. Some of the comments of, the Brock Lesnar match should have been saved closer to the end.
Well, I think
the beginning.
I think they were just getting rid of him, basically, because he's just...
and it at the closer to the end with the not just the Daniel Bryan and Kofi match. It seemed like that, and after the Brock Lesnar, Dave Bautista and Triple H match, it seemed like, okay, it's done, that's it. Okay, oh wait a minute. There's the women's title up for grabs.
Yeah.
And again, nothing against the women wrestlers. It's just like with the Triple H and Dave Bautista match, it just seemed like that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Then it was like, oh yeah, that's right. And I'm not saying the women's match felt tacked on. It just felt.
There was like 17 matches or something ridiculous.
Something like that.
It was a lot, man.
Now, to kind of inform all you folks out there, to kind of get you all in onto what happened this past Sunday. This was, in essence, last week. When was it? The 7th? WrestleMania was? April 7th. Yeah. We decided, because this is one of the things that Big Candy, as a goal set for me and the show, is to have a little bit more video content for all of you. And one of the things that we wanted to do was live stream our reaction as WrestleMania was going on. And I thought this was a good idea, and we both agreed on, let's do a Facebook live stream for all of you out there who may follow us on Facebook. If you don't, I do recommend going to facebook.com and looking up the Long Coat Mafia podcast and clicking that like button. And that way you can be alerted to where we might be going, brief news snippets, and any Facebook exclusive videos that we might post up, like the WrestleMania live reaction live stream that we did this past April 7th. Just that after about an hour, along comes the WWE with a steel chair of a copyright claim of 5 minutes and 27 freaking seconds, saying we're putting this copyright claim in essence. Facebook said you have a choice of, it was just we were commentating, we were having a good time, and all of a sudden, boom, the stream ends on my end. I think it happened with you at roughly the same time. Yeah. And I get alert from the email on my phone saying, the WWE copyright claimed your live stream, and it wasn't the full live stream. It was only 5 minutes and 27 seconds. Do you wish to delete this or put a counter, a dispute in? I figured, you know what, just let's delete it. I'm not going to, I thought it was the equivalent of a strike.
Right.
So I decided delete it, and also because we were actually, there was a lot of audio coming from the broadcast, and that was also my initial thing. It's like, wait, I was also thinking, wait a minute, why didn't they just claim the whole thing? We were, even though it would have been fair use anyway, there was a lot of audio from their broadcast, so I figured that's why they claimed it anyway. So I hit delete. I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep things muted and all the way down, so if I can't hear it or barely hear it, I think on your end I heard maybe a couple of words from the broadcast, and that was it, because I think you were playing it on low. So I named the new live stream WrestleMania Live Reaction Take 2, this time muted, and we were having fun for close to 2 hours?
Something like that.
Something like that. Then all of a sudden, boom! WWE hits us with another claim, this time for 5... Now, during this almost 2 hour live stream, we were having a blast.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There were 5:27 jokes, and you bastard jokes the whole almost every other minute.
Oh, yeah.
And it's on our YouTube, on our Facebook page. If you want to look it up and watch it, it's there. I didn't remove it for that strike. Like I said, WWE came in, hit us with another strike of 5 minutes and 9 seconds. And this time I said, you know what? I'm going to counter it. I'm going to put in a dispute saying, no, we had it on mute. If anything, there was barely a minute's worth of stuff that you could actually hear from the broadcast.
Yeah.
And if you probably looked hard, I was going to say, if they still continue to fight, it's like, if you saw, the film was of me. If you could see anything of the broadcast being reflected off the posters behind the poster frame behind me, you would have to be eagle-eyed and blow it up to a fact that you wouldn't have even made it out that it was wrestling. If you squinted hard enough, you could probably make out Kofi Kingston or any other wrestler, and that would be sketchy at best.
Right.
But I typed on it saying, hey, the claim is invalid, it's fair use, we had it on mute. If you were able to pick up anything, it was maybe a few dozen words at best. And after the broadcast was over, we didn't do a take 3 because, I was pissed.
Right.
I did a brief live video on Twitter that even Michelle viewed it for a few seconds. She said, she said, that's the first time I've seen you pissed. Royally pissed.
For sure.
And I was calling WWE out. I was cursing at them, saying to anybody who was willing to listen, how dare they? We had it on mute. And sure enough, the next day, which was that Monday, I think it was about Monday evening, I get off of work, and I look at my phone, and it came in saying, congratulations, the WWE removed your claim. Now, I was talking to a few people that was kind of part of watching it and all. They said that their initial thought, they agreed with us that WWE was being a bastard in regards to copyright claiming us, but what we kind of agreed on is, in regards to it, is that they wanted, we were watching it after the fact and we were doing a live commentary after the fact, the WWE probably wouldn't have had any problems with it. It was the fact that it was still going on is what they had the problem with, and they were trying to shut everybody down who was doing it.
Right.
And one of my major issues was like, okay, what about the people that were doing a live Twitch stream in bars or at their place or a friend's place and doing a live commentary just like, ooh, that was a good hit. We were actually talking and doing a back and forth in regards to everything else. It wasn't just like, ooh, that was a good hit. But we were actually commentating on it. And it was like, no, what we were doing was actually transforming and thus being the definition of fair use. So, it's nice that they kind of released the claim. So, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. I thought you fell asleep again.
Oh, no.
I know, I was ranting.
No, you're just doing your thing, man. But yeah, no, it all came back to what it reminded me exactly of was the Steven Crowder with the Oscars thing. Did you watch any of that?
The thing is, he did it on YouTube, and he got struck down after maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, but it was the same fight, though.
Right.
He wasn't broadcasting their broadcast. He was commenting on it, and they got nailed for it. And the worst thing is they have a lot more viewers than we ever will.
Right.
But they won their fight because they took it straight to them and they told them, like, listen, like, we weren't doing anything that was like not considered fair use. What the fuck?
Right.
Like, you can't just like nail people for stupid shit like that.
And that's the thing. It's like even folks as big as Joe Rogan, Steven Crowder. Granted, they have millions upon millions of followers and listeners and so forth and so on, and we're just little guys. at the mainstream media, whether it be CNN, NBC, the WWE, they're old media, literally, and they don't like us. That's why you hear a lot of times through the news and through independent outlets that PewDiePie gets hit all the time. Because he's the biggest, next to Logan Paul and Jake Paul, he's the biggest dude on the platform.
Right.
And they figure if they could take down PewDiePie, they could pretty much get the new media gone. And it's sad that YouTube doesn't really they don't listen to folks like PewDiePie, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, or the other big YouTubers that are on the site, but they would rather cater to NBC, CBS, CNN, the big leaders.
It's like two different worlds, and that's what people are failing to understand. Like, the YouTuber culture, and there is, I guess, such a thing as YouTuber culture, it's completely its own thing. Like, there's people on the platform that you've never heard of, that I've never heard of, but, like, my son, like, is crazy for, like, these, like, the gamer guys, people, the ones that sit in there and play Minecraft all day. Like, and I look at, like, what these people are accomplishing through their websites. You're talking about, like, 22 and 23-year-old, like, kids straight out of college doing a channel of doing nothing but playing video games, and they're making enough residual money from it to buy a house. And not just a house, but like a nice-ass house.
Yeah, we're not talking, folks, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, place that you could get in the suburbs. We're talking a place that has mid to upper hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not close to $1 million, if not more.
Right. Like, they're making ridiculous money on YouTube. And there's a whole culture of these people. Like, a whole, there's more of these kind of people than I could, like, name on two hands.
Right.
It's not just the PewDiePies of the world. And, like, there's a whole list in different things, too, like, different realms. There's the gamers. There's the ASMR people, even. There's, like, there's music, like, people that play music. There's people that, like, do pranks, like, all kinds of stuff. And it's all...
The commentators,
the reactors.
The what?
The reactors,
the reactors. I'm sure there's a whole... We're not talking about... in regards to the folks out there, we're not just talking about the like the H3 or someone like that is reacting live, like what we were kind of doing with our WWE live stream reaction, which is, okay, this is going on. These are the reactors are pretty much, they'll watch a try not to laugh challenge, and all they're doing is looking at the screen going, ooh, ah, ooh, oh yeah, that's funny, that's hysterical, and that's it.
A ton of money for it.
And some of them are getting loads and loads of cash.
Oh, yeah. Like, you're talking about, like, their subscriber counts are, like, in the millions. Like, there's a guy that I watch every once in a while. His name's Tyrone Magnus.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He does the Family Guy Try Not to Laugh challenge. I want to say his subscriber count is over a couple of million. And that's all he does.
Right.
Literally, like, watches Family Guy and tries not to laugh. The end.
Yeah, or he'll watch, like, epic rap battles.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, that's the content that the mainstream guys, they don't get. Like, WWE doesn't understand. Like,
yeah, I just want to interrupt for a second. I just did a brief look up through my YouTube app. He has 1.5 million subscribers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And some of his videos get, like, the top 4 through the search that he had, that I'm seeing of his, one is close to 70,000 views, another one's 31,000, It seems like that's the lowest, but it's like between 31,000 and 700,000.
Yeah.
If he's getting, if these videos are still monetized in any way, shape, or form, that's between 3,000 and not 3,000. Yeah, 3,000. No, that's about $3,000. No, my math's up. It's $3 to $700 because it's $1 for every 1,000 views. So it's like $31 to $700 a video. Right. That's not including if he has a Patreon or if he does live streams and therefore gets money that way as well.
Yeah, like a Twitch account, because was it what's her name? I can't remember. Anyway, there's a reactor that I watched that she also does Twitch, and right. You see the scroll at the top of the screen that talks about like how much money like people are donating at the time, and you'll just see since it's like $50, $150, $200. It's like, really?
Now, mind you, Twitch and YouTube and Twitch, people donate through that. Yeah. Twitch and YouTube get a cut of that,
which is fine. I mean, whatever. You know, they're facilitating like the program. You know, but the point I'm trying to make is WWE doesn't understand this whole platform. They don't understand that, you know, this isn't like somebody that's hired a studio that has like program directors and like talent and like, you know, an HR. This is just a person.
Right, and the thing is, you heard me kind of complain about it after they initially did the strike.
Yeah.
And is that there was supposedly now to kind of bring, even though the podcast is defunct and it's been defunct for at least 5 years, if not more, which is the Slacker and the Man podcast, and the main host, the Man, approached the WWE at a live show and asked them about, you know, just a casual conversation in regards to how they feel about podcasters, and he was told for depending on the size, he was told that some of the smaller podcasters like him and lower, they can't really, the WWE doesn't like to give them the bigger names, the top tier, like let's say like Daniel Bryan or now Kofi. They small person.
They don't make any money off of it. That's
right. It doesn't matter. It's like they don't want Kofi or Daniel Bryan being interviewed by a small podcaster, but someone who is a mid card or lower, they have no qualms of letting that wrestler speak to a podcaster at all.
Right.
Meaning someone at Snitsky's level, fine, go ahead. No problem. But someone, again, a top tier or higher, now we're going to save them for like a Chris Hardwick or Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's all about how people watch it, too. You know, right. It's like, you know, if you have Daniel Bryan on the podcast, well, like, how many people are going to watch it? I mean, you're going to go up in views, of course, but it's not going to be as widely spread as it would be if it was with one of the bigger podcasters, you know?
Right.
So it's all about reach and, like, you know, all that stuff matters. And I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And because we're still kind of on the subject, even though we could move to the next topics, but I want to hear your thoughts on Bret Hart being attacked at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Well, I was shocked as anything because I thought it was a work.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was a work.
And even into the next day, I still thought it was a work because like, it's WWE weekend, like, or WrestleMania weekend. It's like, you know, that's the time of year when they do all the weird shit. Yeah. So I'm like, this is a weird work, you know, if it's true. But then the more I watched it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely real. Then it comes out that, you know, it's this disgruntled MMA wrestler trying to make a name for himself, and the fact that he was upset. Did you hear this part?
I think it was you that told me that he was upset because of the women were getting top billing.
Yeah, the women were getting top billing in the main event, and he was really pissed off about that, and that's why he did it. And I'm like, why did you pick Bret Hart to attack?
Yeah, what? Why'd you attack anybody? It's like, listen, you just did something stupid, and if you get sent to, if the WWE presses charges, and I'm sure shit they did.
Yeah.
That this person's going to probably get his ass beat in prison too, MMA fighter or not.
Well, you know what I don't
ass beat in prison
is how lax was WWE's security at that event. Like, seriously, how in the hell did this guy even get in that position to get up into that ring and attack somebody? To me, that's crazy.
I'd say it's one thing if it was a Raw event, an event like Wrestlemania, Raw, or SmackDown, because the audience is pretty much there. There's nothing. Security can't really react that quickly.
Right.
And yes, it's happened before, but in this case, there was a good, I want to say 30 feet at least between the presentation stage and where this person probably came from.
And you're also separated by, like, a whole bunch of wrestlers that are sitting there, and their families and all that stuff. How the hell did this guy get that close? Like, I just don't get it. Like,
maybe they probably at the time thought it was like, yeah, maybe this is a work, that split second, until the person got on the stage and started to beat Bret Hart, and it wasn't until then, and that's when you saw everybody get in there and attack and try to pull this guy off. And I think if you watch the footage, I think you're the one that brought it to my attention as well. I think one or two women wrestlers got a couple of sucker punches in on them as well. So that's kind of funny too.
I know that Travis Brown, Ronda Rousey's husband, he was the first one to really, really get in there and start working the guy. But you saw a whole bunch of other wrestlers get in there and get their shots in too. But it was just, to me, it was nuts that guy got that close. I can't fathom that. But
yeah, it should not have happened at all.
And it was sickening because it's like, Bret Hart, he's been through a lot of shit. He's an older guy. He's had his health problems. You're going to attack that dude? Really?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not just all those health issues that he's been through. I think even after because the attack, he had damage to his hip or something like that.
Yeah,
or he had previous damage to his hip, and it just aggravated the damage. And I mean,
if I was him, I'd definitely tell WWE they're going to pay for it, or have suits out of them for having the fact that somebody got that close.
I'm sure a lot of people have said that WWE should have given him something, or helped him, or paid for the medical expenses at least. That's something we could get into at another time in regards to the report that came out, I think, from one late night commentator in regards to the wrestlers not getting health insurance and all that. And that's something we could save for another time, maybe the in-studio show.
For sure.
Get in on that. I'm sure we could get into that in depth. So I do want to kind of, even though we got plenty of time now, we don't have that 2-hour limit or 2-hour limit to kind of move things along, though. Folks at home, you might have noticed a little bit of a change in how we kind of do titles recently. Because the panel titles have seemed a little odd. It's not because when I drop the titles, it's like 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. and I'm tired and I don't have the proper spelling or anything like that. It's just that recently, it's It's coming from Apple. You freaking bastards. So, and allow me to explain. A couple of months ago, it came out that Apple was tightening up on how podcasters, on all aspects, do their titles, because apparently there were a bunch of podcasters that were, when they did their titles, they were putting what's called keywords in their titles. Meaning, instead of talking about, it's like all about good cars, let's say good cars for travel, they would put Honda, Toyota, GMC, Jeeps, cars, trucks, engines, travel in their title. So if people were searching for that on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, if you're on mobile and searched for it, those episodes would come up because that was in the title. Yeah. Because they were not just keywords, they were also considered quote-unquote hashtags. And Apple pretty much says, you can't do that. You have to, if you're going to put top 10 cars for travel, that's what you have to keep it as. No hashtag Honda, hashtag Civics, hashtag BMW, hashtag Lamborghini. You can't do that. So, and when I heard that aspect, it was like, well, I don't have to worry about it. If I do have a keyword, it's kind of woven into the title, like an episode we did I'd say about a month or two back, in regards to Amazon dropping a lot of indie filmmakers from their Prime Video service. Yeah. The title was it was given by Big Candy. He's the one that suggested the title was Amazon gives indie filmmakers a prime reason to be pissed. Therefore, Amazon and Prime, if people did a search, will come up, and it's not any hashtags. Right. They're keywords, but they're part of the title. It's kind of how we get away with things, and it's an interesting title. Then, about a month or two after that, it was like earlier this year, we get another word coming down from the Apple iTunes and Apple Podcast pike, saying no colons, no semicolons, no periods, no quotation marks, no parentheses, no brackets, no this, no that. If you don't, we're going to be taking them out of the iTunes lineup. I didn't hear anything. I didn't receive any email in regards to this. Apparently, a lot of people did come from Apple saying these are things that you can't have in your Apple titles now. Because I was like, my reply was in this posting was, that's screwed up. That's messed up. And so I think one of the moderators said, why is that messed up? I said, well, as a generalized geek podcast, I'm allowed to I get permission sometimes to record panels, and what I like to do with those panels is have the panel title a dash and have convention name, like panel name dash a con name panel, and that will screw up. You know, if it's not put on iTunes, iTunes is one of the biggest distributors of podcasts out there right now. It's going to not get to the most people that are searching for whatever.
No, so, to me, it's just one more way to, clip your wings.
Right. It's screwy. And I don't like it. Honestly, I don't like it. It pisses me off. Again, you might have bigger podcasters out there, again, like Joe Rogan. It's like, oh, we could put episode 50, a talk with Snitsky or Kevin Smith. And they could get away with it because they're big. Hey, if we're gone, hey, that's a bunch of people not listening to podcasts on iTunes. So, you can do it, Joe. You can do it. But... yeah.
Well, they don't have to rely on that stuff.
Right. I'm just using Joe Rogan as an example here.
But all of them are like that. They don't have to do that stuff.
It's just, again, weird and everything else. And earlier this evening, you kind of heard us talk about Josh, Victims and Villains charity stream, which is kind of still going on right now as of this recording. Josh, if you listen to this, we are not knocking your live stream at all. And let me look up I have that information. I should look it up. They are raising money. As I look it up, I'm going to give them a plug. I'm sure they will be kindly and lovingly love the fact that I'm giving them a plug. It's just that what they're doing is they're raising money to help tools about suicide prevention getting into schools. That more of the help should be put out there. Yeah. Now, let me bring it's not that post. It is let's see more. If you wish to donate, I'm sure that you could still donate while you're listening to this in the future. You can PayPal them. I'll put a link in the description if you want it, but I'll say it here. It's paypal.me/victims and villains, which is all one word. And just let them know that you wish to donate. I think they've gotten, at least within the past day or so, at least $150, if not a little bit more. And every penny goes to charity. If you want, just email them. I'll put the Victims and Villains Facebook address in the description as well. That way you can contact them via Facebook and let them know in regards to sending them funds to help donate to a good cause in regards to suicide prevention. So, and it's pretty much, according to their press release and all that, is to help mental health and suicide awareness materials get in local schools. So, it's a valid cause, and it's what they're doing. They're doing a gaming stream on YouTube as of right now, and just search up Victims and Villains on YouTube, and you can see a lot of the streams that's going on right now, or in their library that they have done in the past. So, that's their plug, and because of, I say this because it kind of leads into the next topic a little bit. We were after kind of, if not right now, if not a little later, we would have been streaming with them in regards to this good cause, and it's something that I personally don't mind donating my time, and Josh and Victims and Villains are good people anyway, and Big Candy could back that up. So I figured out a hack, because I have, now let me see this, PS4s and most computers. I say most because there are some computers that they're not powerful enough to live stream to any to Twitch or to YouTube that well, and I don't know how good the new laptop is able to stream to YouTube, and I don't have the proper software currently installed to stream to YouTube in any way, shape, or form. If not, I would have found the cheapest. It would have been Apex Legends or Fortnite that I would have gotten off Steam for free and sucked for 2 hours just to help them raise funds if I knew it would work. Honestly, because again, Josh, I'm with you all the way, and I would have loved to help support your cause. But again, with PS4 as well, you're able to stream on both Twitch and on to YouTube, and a lot of folks like Sasha, like Jay Riel, who runs Skeleton Crew brand. I won't say brand.com. It's no longer Skeleton Crew anymore. It's now Riel Legacy. In regards to various things, I don't know the full story. What I know, I don't know if Jay will allow me to release on air, so I'm going to kind of back off on that. But I'm just using Jay, if you're listening, I'm just using an example. Jay's able to stream Skyrim, Apex Legends, and Fortnite on YouTube from his PS4, just like Sasha's able to do it as well. But I can't. I have an Xbox One. I can only stream on Mixer or Twitch. But one of the hacks I found out that I'm able to do is that on my phone, granted, it's not the best phone. It's a LG Stylus 4 that what I'm able to do is pretty much go onto Twitch, start streaming a game, open up the Twitch app on my phone, open up an app called Streamlabs, and have it stream to YouTube that way, and pretty much tell Streamlabs, capture everything that's my phone is showing on screen to YouTube. Therefore, I'm able to broadcast to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It works. We did a test. Me and Sasha did a test run. I think Thursday night. Wednesday night. Tuesday or Wednesday night we did a test, and it worked.
Right.
It worked for about 7-8 minutes, and we were like, "Hey, proof of concept. It works. The hack works." It did it for at least 7 minutes. I deleted the video because that's what it was. It was just a test, and then I think that Thursday night I get in, and we were talking with Josh in the group chat for the charity stream, and I said, "This is what I found out works. You can go from A to B, and you're able to stream that way. All I would need is Josh's stream key." Turns out, he wanted to know proof of concept. It's not that he didn't believe me, but he wanted to see it in action. I'm like, okay, we could test it, retest it, make sure it works again. Just time we'll have Josh there and make sure everything works out okay. Yes,
Right.
It works. But we also found out the reason why we're not able to do it through this particular hack, in essence a phone hack, is because YouTube, folks out there, get a load of this crap. YouTube does not allow any channel with less than 1,000 subscribers to stream on their channel via a mobile device. You can stream all you want on your laptop or on your desktop computer, but if you're on a mobile device, it's screw you if you have under 1,000 subscribers.
Right.
We have 14. Literally, 14 subscribers. I'm not... those of you out there who are listening that are subscribed to us on YouTube, well, I do thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I have 2 videos I have to edit together and put out there. One's going to be about more than a half an hour. It's Don Ramirez's latest presentation. There's several camera angles involved that I have to sew together, so it's a process. And the other one is maybe going to be about 5 minutes. So they're just 2 videos I got to sew together and put out there. So more videos are on the way. If you want to follow us on YouTube, just search out Long Coat Mafia Podcast on YouTube and it will come up. So if you do that, hit that subscribe button. Normally I'd say hit that notification button as well, but for the most part, for most people, that notification bell doesn't work anyway. But as long as you hit that subscribe button, it makes me happy and it makes everybody at the show happy. But to me, it's like, really, I was pissed about that. I think I posted something up on our Facebook page and Twitter calling out YouTube. It's like, yeah, what if I want to live stream from my phone at an event? I can't do that because, well, you're telling me I need 1,000 subscribers. This is just additional content for all my listeners out there. That sucks. What a way to cheat all our listeners and out there of additional content at a live event. But thank you, Facebook. We're allowed to do that on Facebook, so it doesn't matter the number of subscribers that we have there. So that's good. And let me just move. I'm just plugging things in, folks. Don't worry. I should have done this before, but battery's getting low.
Oh, okay.
That was an easy fix. You guys didn't even notice that. But if I didn't see anything,
Until you said something.
you guys and gals would not have known that. But it's just like, screw you. But I do have another little bit of a, before we get into the meat, even though we talked talked about one geeky little topic, there's another little bit of a, because the word can be said on TV throughout the day, from daytime TV to all the way up to late night, and that's the word bitch. I'm going to bitch right now, and that is because I wouldn't be bitching as bad, but if I was allowed to get the forms, or the forms were ready, Big Candy kind of knows what I'm getting into. For the past month and a half, I've known about the Martinsburg Public Library's Pop Culture Show. For the past month and a half, I know the date. I'm not going to say it now because that's, even though I'm promoting them, I'm not going to promote the date until we have the forms in hand and are able to get set up. And the thing is, last week, right after I cashed in got my pay and got my funds for the week, I walked over to the library and asked them, are the vendor forms ready yet? No.
Oh.
They're not. This past Friday, which is what, the 13th, Saturday. That means yesterday, the 12th, after picking up my funds for the week, I walked in the library. Are the forms ready today? Nope. She's not even in this library today. Really? Did she realize in about... the best thing I could say is in about 2 weeks, which will be about, I want to say, 26th, 27th, I'm going to say, well, in about less than 2 months away, it's the event. Need the forms. I don't want to hear when I come in start of May or in May, the forms are ready. You should be paying us by now.
Seriously.
Well, if I had the forms a month ago, I wouldn't have to. I'd have the money ready, but it's like, well, you wouldn't be having this issue if the forms were ready. They're not ready yet, at all.
Let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. They're doing a little kids mile run for the Apple Blossom that's in where I'm from, and the money was due the 15th, so it'll be due Monday.
Right.
but this was the form has been out since February.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The form, and the only way I knew about the pop culture event is through the Frederick County Ghostbusters cosplay group.
Oh.
They're going to be there. They created an event for it. That's the only way I knew about it.
Yeah.
That's the only way. When I looked into the actual event, the library has a event for the day, meaning a Facebook event, already up. That's it. They have one poster up, one flyer up. Now, Big Candy's been in this library before because our early recordings for maybe about the first 8 months, 9 months we were recording in the library.
Yeah.
Something like that. And he knows the stairwell I'm talking about. That's where the only flyer is, and it's heading down.
Wow.
That's where the flyer is. So if you walk in, you don't know there's a flyer up for this event. That's it. That's the only flyer. Not on the What's Happening board in the library. Not on the community board. It's on a bulletin board that's in that stairwell going down towards the kids section.
Sounds like there should be a job opening at the library.
And it's like I've told you, it's like when I asked them, it's like, why isn't the form ready yet? Well, they want to include a new graphic for this year's pop culture show. And my response was, really? You should already had a template ready in regards to this. There should have been a template with the form already made out with the graphic. That way, if you were going that route, all you had to do is take out the old graphic and put the new graphic in, hit print, Command P, and print it out.
There you go.
Or they could have done. I'm going to use them as an example. I have nothing against Forest State, but I'm going to use them as an example. They have two graphics, a standard graphic and the event graphic. guess what's on their forms that are given to everybody the day of the event that are vendors? The forms for next event and next year. They have the forms ready already. Plus, they email everybody. The library doesn't do this.
Yeah.
Last year, did I get an email for the event? No.
No.
I didn't. I had to bug them about it.
And you even participated in it, right?
Yeah, and I participated in it. And one of the things I had to do was give my email, like with Four-State. And the thing is, with Four-State, even though I didn't participate this time around, I got emails up to the event when the tables were being put out. I got, in essence, press releases from Four-State in our show's email box saying, okay, the tables are ready for you to purchase or rent out. This is how much they are. Just don't forget, if you want to email, this is the cost. This is, the form. If you want a form, let us know. We'll email you the form.
Right.
That they're being professional. Not to mention, they already have a template of what the forms look like, and they have a baseline neutral graphic that they can use for official show stuff like the forms and the policies. If they want to change that form for the next show, they have that for their Facebook, they have it for their website. That stuff is separate, but they have a base graphic that they could use as a placeholder, kind of like our mascot.
Right.
That's been holding up the show as a placeholder for the longest time. And I do thank Big Candy for our mascot. He's been with us for a good many years, but
he needs to be retired.
He's due for retirement soon. But it's the whole aspect of what should happen is it's just frustrating. It's like you're stalling. It's like I'll be uber pissed that come this event, they don't, I'll be at a picnic table, in essence, in the town square, which is right next to the library, with banner in hand. But the thing is, I'll be dripping out Matt Burns, good old Matt Burns. I pretty much told him, like, if I'm getting a table at this year's show, he's more than welcome to be sitting at my table hawking the Bigfoot DVDs. More than welcome.
For sure.
It's just me. Matt has been a great plus to our show. He's let us cut our teeth in so many ways in regards to with Four-State. Mm-hmm. So why not? It's me kind of repaying the favor. We help him, he helps us. It's not a one person washing the back of another, so to speak, in regards to anything. It's not like that, but it's just very professional in my eyes because with what he's done. And why not? Why not? It's the same thing I'll be offering to that I offered to Josh for the Punk show this July. He's more than welcome at the table to promote his show, and he's going to be there for a few hours. Why not? Sure. And let him have some fun. And it's that sort of thing. And speaking of which, he told me, it's like I'm going to probably. His words to me was, I'm going to probably be doing a show at the Alamo when Dark Phoenix comes out. You want in on this? And I said, well, I don't have a ride there, and
yes, you do.
There and back. In that sense, he's told me, it's like, if I could meet him close to like exit 13, he'll swing by, pick me up, and head back on the highway.
Right.
That means no problem. If anything else, details to be worked out later. As the date gets closer.
You got at least 3 people that can give you a ride, though.
Right. I'm just saying, it's like he's heading that way.
Right.
It's like, if anything else, it's details to be worked out later. So, and I'm not worried about that. But on a positive note, we as a show, but enough about me ranting. I want Big Candy to comment on the library situation in regards to templates and all that, because I heard a lot of yes, and you're right. But I want to give you the floor. I have to step back and give you the floor if you want it.
Well, yeah, the whole thing with the library has always been they are way too standoffish with their events, and they don't put any focus or try to do anything for the community. It's almost like it's just haphazardly slapped together. And as far as what you've told me in going to these things, it's very disorganized. It's not very it's not something that if somebody had made somebody pay for this, I'd want my money back, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So when you first posted up about it, that's why I said what I said. It's one of those deals where it would almost be better for them in the long run if we got all of our friends together that know about how to do conventions and just kind of take it over for them and kind of show them the light. kind of do it right. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's worth that kind of attention. I'll go as far as to say, maybe you should put in for that person's job who's organizing this shit, man. I'm thinking you can do a better job than they do.
I'm almost tempted, if nothing's said in the next couple of weeks, because I know those not so super dudes are going to be there. I don't know if Josh is going to, Victims and Villains is going to be there. I know I'm going to be there. I don't know about Matt, but I'm almost tempted. Hey guys, there's 4 tables in the Park Square across the street. If nothing's said or no forms are given out of the next anything, if they get any forms, I'll contact Jordan to see if he got a form yet or contacted yet. If not, have him get another form from me, and I'll put it in. It's like, you told me you didn't get this form. Here's the form. And I'll be uber pissed. I'll go straight to the director and I'll be politely mad. Literally.
You should go there with your resume.
Right.
Here, let me do this for you.
But if nothing's given out within the next close to a month, I'll contact again Victims and Villains, Not So Super Dudes, and Matt. Say, hey, they haven't given out their forms yet. If you guys didn't get the forms yet either, or they didn't give you guys any forms, I told you they're not ready yet. Yeah. There's at least 4 tables over by the park across the street.
Just take it over.
Yeah, let's take it over there, and if the event happens, let's take it over. Let's go in and say, yo, they didn't want to include us. Whoever wants to have a good show, let's go across the street and have a good time.
Would that be known as a protest con?
Yeah, well, it's like, come to the protest podcasters show across the street. Literally, I'd do something like that in their face, and I'll go to the director and tell her flat out, the reason why I'm doing this is because you did it wrong.
Well, I think you'd almost be better off just doing it that way to begin with. But I get it. You want to do it by the books, though.
Right. At first, go by the books at first.
Yeah. Why not?
If anything, I'd say, hey, Big Candy, you want in on this? You want, Yeah. I'm sure there would be part of you who's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Old school. I got the banner stand and everything. Come on, let's go. And it's just frustrating. It's like with stuff like that. But to get on the lighter note, we did do. We're trying to get lighter notes in on this.
We're talking about guerrilla conventioneering.
Hey Matt, you want to start a guerrilla convention here? I know you got some connections. We don't want to go that far, but let's start a guerrilla convention right across the street from the.
It's just you run in, set up a convention, have it, and run.
Before they realize you're having a convention, just run out, close it up, and run out.
Yeah, before they.
But even Matt will laugh at that. But the whole aspect of it, it's just stupid. There was something I wanted to say about it as well. It's like, I want to just, like, yeah, I know you guys hate me. And it's one of the main reasons why you guys hate me is because I'm telling you guys that you're screwing up.
This all goes back to, like, as far as back to when we started, like, doing the show there. If it wasn't one thing, it was another, and, like, you know, they didn't want us there to begin with, and then they didn't want us there. They were going to try charge us $10 or something to be
$10 an hour.
Yeah, $10 an hour. Meanwhile, what did we say? There was someplace else that was, like, encouraging people to do podcasts and stuff in their building.
Yeah, the Martinsburg Library wants to be part of the big boys club, or the big persons club. And the thing is, the big folk that are in DC, Tampa, New York, they all have media centers for YouTubing and podcasting. And you tell them that, it's like, oh, no, we don't want to do that. No. If we do that, we got to charge for it. Yeah, that's why Palm Beach County, which is in essence Miami, it's free for anyone with a library card.
Exactly.
And they don't want to hear that. And it's like, well, you want to be a part of the big boys, but you don't want to be part of the big boys.
Well,
it's either one or the other.
It's like the purpose of the library in any place you go is to prop up the community, is to, like, you know, is literacy and, like, community involvement. And it's like they don't want to do that. They want to, like, hold people down and, like, be stupid about shit.
Yeah, well, other libraries are doing stuff that are bringing people in. This library is doing stuff to bring people, to push people out. And it's the aspect of, like, the Martinsburg is, unless you're shoveling a dump truck full of money in their face, they don't want to hear anything that's coming out of your mouth.
Well, they can't be bothered, remember?
Right. Not only that, but from what I've been told, a lot of the directors live within a 3-block radius of each other. So,
yeah,
that's alleged and a rumor I heard. So, because I said alleged, take a drink. So,
moving on.
We did do a April Fool's joke on April Fool's, of course. And it was kind of a stolen idea, but it was a perfect little prank. And had at least one person fall for it. And the prank, if I opened up the tweet on Twitter to see the full blow up, I would have realized it was a joke. Or in essence what it was. And I was like, you bastard, man. You bastard. You got me. Basically, what they did is, because like most podcasters, we follow each other. And we prop each other up. And they put up, it's like, hey, we just got our standings in on Apple Podcasts. We can't believe we ranked so high. And they provided a link. It was a tiny URL link. It was just tiny.url / and it had Apple Podcasts attached to it. And I just tapped that link, and all of a sudden, never gonna give you up. I'm like, oh fuck, I just got rickrolled. And I'm gonna still, because I said the F word, I'm still gonna take off the E. But the aspect's like, oh man, I got rickrolled. And I was like, I replied to him like, I didn't blow this up, I just tapped the link, you sons of bitches, you know. And it's like shakes fist in mock anger, you know, and they were like, ha ha. So I'm like, wait a minute, this is a pretty good idea. So I went to Facebook, copied their in essence, reworded their URL, went to Facebook, did, hey, we just got our podcast ratings in through iTunes / Apple Podcasts. Can't believe we ranked so high. And I provided the tiny URL link. I'm like, wait a minute, people are going to know this is a Rickroll. Wait a minute, I could take away the preview. Took away the preview on Facebook, so no one would know it's a Rickroll.
Right.
And I posted up. Sure enough, about 45 minutes later, one of the guys I know that follows the podcast on Facebook, posts up a JPEG of someone flipping the bird. Like, you clicked on it and got recalled. Gotcha.
That's fun. I thought one of the
man, it's like that makes the joke just worthwhile. That knowing that you got somebody would, oh really? Click. Oh, you bastard.
one of the best ones that backfired a little bit was Tyler from Secure Team. Yeah. Did you see that one where he turned it into kitten? Like it was all kittens pictures or something.
Yeah, it was like, oh, we're not going to do kitten UFO stories anymore. It's all going to be kittens.
Now, it was so tongue in cheek. It was so tongue in cheek that you would think that nobody thought it was real, but there was people out there that thought it was real. He lost a bunch of subscribers.
Like, oh, that's funny. That's funny stuff right there. Good one. They'll be back. Yeah. But it was funny. The thing is, I was expecting the usual Firefly is coming back, you know, or what Netflix did last year was pretty much what they had. I think it was last year or the year before. They had it was like the offices of Netflix. They'd had the camera on the microwave, and they were doing commentary for everything that was being put in. Oh, Susie just put in a double-sized burrito, and she put it on low. Why did she put it on low? It was awesome. It's like, oh, this has got to stay up. What do you mean it's only for April Fools? This is entertaining. This is great background noise, man. This is ASMR, man.
Sure. For
this
sure.
is awesome. Why get rid of it? To kind of move on from that, we had what was kind of released today. I think Tom, I didn't read the full article, so I don't know too much about it, but Tom Welling said, who played the original Superman, or Superboy in a way, but either way, he was Clark Kent on Smallville, for those of you who remember Smallville, and plus I think he had or has a bit part or a recurring role on Supergirl as Kara's adopted family's dad or something like that. I don't follow Supergirl that much. It's stupid. But let me just say this. The person playing Lex is doing a damn good job.
Yeah.
I've seen a sizable chunk of that episode, and he does a damn good job playing Lex. I don't know the actor's name, but he's he played Charlie Sheen's brother on 2.5 Men. Oh,
John Cryer?
Right. He plays Lex in Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
And he does a brilliant job. I'm not knocking his performance, even though I'd rather see someone like Mr. Rosenbaum playing it, like the original Lex from Smallville. But the person that they chose for it is doing a good job, and he does it very chill. Like, stuff is apparently in the show he's the one that turned the sun red, and chaos is happening, and he's just like John Wick chill. Like, chaos is all around him. He's like, alright, I'm just going to read a book. I'm reading Shakespeare. I'm like, how brilliant is that? You know, that is acting. You know, that is the epitome of the character right there. Chaos around him, and he's the cause of it. What's he doing? Reading a book. Why not? So, praise for that. Hand clap. But in a panel, I don't know if it was, let me bring it up. I know, Michelle messaged me the panel, but, not the panel, but she messaged me the same article I put on our Facebook page. Michelle means well, a lot of times, but, I'm not knocking Michelle either, but she wants to help, and it's okay. But I don't know if it was the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con, but I don't see so while attending Armageddon in New Zealand. I guess the con in New Zealand is called Armageddon. He was asked about the multiverses in DC Universe, and apparently said, I'll be on the next season of Arrow. But the thing is, even though the article has said that this has to be confirmed by CW, I didn't hear anything through Twitter via Stephen Amell in regards to this, and many folks have stated that that were either there or they heard through the grapevine that he was just kidding. So I guess as that's the final season of Arrow drops, we will know more in regards to that, but it's just right now it's being treated as a rumor. So even though it would probably be interesting in regards to seeing him come on as Superman in the Arrowverse aspect of things, or the Arrow version of the DC Universe. So we'll see what else that does that tie in. Nope, nothing in regards to that. Before we talk about a little bit about gaming, let's talk about something that I think both of us have seen recently, and that has been Umbrella Academy. Yes, folks, we are getting a season 2. I enjoyed season 1 very much. It was very fun. I think you said you've seen it as well, Big Candy? Don't tell me we're having Skype issues again. And we got Big Candy back, folks. Big Candy, what do you think about Umbrella Academy?
Oh, dude, I loved it. That was a good series.
Are you happy that we're getting a season 2?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do with it.
And the folks at home, as usual, we're going to blame what happened on pretty much Skype technical difficulties.
Sure.
We're going to go with that. Yeah, we're going to go with that.
Yeah, sounds good.
let's blame Skype in regards to this. Well, you know what? I'm going to save the gaming stuff for last. One of the things that was kind of announced in, I think, between the last time we spoke was Steven Spielberg had a nice little hissy fit. I'm sure you heard about this little hissy fit.
I did.
For the folks at home who wish to be filled in, pretty much Mr. Spielberg, Mr. big-time director, producer himself, had a hissy fit in regards to Netflix, and he said pretty much if I remember correctly, Netflix is not a real film company because what they do is they primarily just stream their movies to a TV, so they should be just limited to TV award ceremonies, not movie ceremonies like the Oscars. Even though what Netflix does is they tend to rent out theaters within the standards of the Oscars. I think it has to be a certain number of theaters, and it has to be a certain length of time that they have to be in those theaters in order to qualify for the Oscars. And in essence, Steven Spielberg being a part of the board of the Oscars, I'm going to urge the board to change their ways so they could ban streaming places like Netflix. But I'm not sure if you heard about this. Somebody got Netflix's back, and this time they brought Lucille. Do you know who came into the fight? I think you don't. That was... What?
I didn't know it was a rhetorical question. Oh, that's for you.
It wasn't a rhetorical question.
Needs a hug and a Twinkie in a private room to go hide.
Apparently, for the folks who heard the Big Candy's missus come in, we could take that whole statement out of context that Big Candy needs a Twinkie, a nice rub, back rub, and a room to hide in.
That's for Steven Spielberg. But
because he's scared.
I get a little bit what he's saying, but if you think about it, it's the budget that each person puts in. Everybody has this major budget that they do to help to make the movie.
It's
I think
not just that. It's just that Oscars are finicky. That there's like bribe. In a ways, legalized bribes in order to get films to quote unquote win. But
it's a delusion. The whole thing is.
I think, I'm not even downgrading a lot of the movies that come out of the theaters because I love them as much. But a lot of the Netflix movies are doing well, and they deserve the same award.
He just doesn't like it because
I could give him my Twinkie, maybe get somebody, give him a back rub, and go get a corner.
He doesn't like it because
he needs a cup of hot cocoa and a blankie and.
He doesn't like it because all the work that you have to put into marketing to get a movie to be a success. When
Netflix, it's easy, and that Netflix is primarily seen on TV,
and they
majority of TVs and mobile devices, not in theaters.
They offer it to a paying audience who's going to probably watch it. Irregardless of Well, they don't have to worry about how many people show up on the first day.
Well, the thing is, Netflix came out and said in response to this, they pretty much said for the folks at home, this is for the folks at home, what we do. Now, this was a perfect response. Netflix came out and said, we provide a service. Yes, it's on TV, but there are majorities of the U.S. where people cannot get to a movie theater to see those big blockbusters, and our original content is able to get to them to that wide audience, especially those who cannot get to a theater to see what would be considered a big film. So it was a perfect response that they're putting their customers like, hey, John and Jane Doe might not be able to get to see a big film for whatever reason. Even though we have our own content, they get to see your stuff too, in a way. And the person that got Netflix's back was the Department of Justice.
Bam!
Pretty much they walked up with Lucille and said, "You change the rules that have been established to ban somebody like Netflix." Is a breach of trust, which gets us involved.
That's true.
And therefore, it kind of, if you adjust the rules to disallow them as a film studio, will allow you to disregard anybody else that's up and coming. And it's like antitrust rules or something like that. I think they quoted, and the Oscars pretty much had no comment.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, yeah, you do. The Department of Justice is pretty like, yeah, you do this, we're going to come after you with antitrust claims and all that. So it was like, bam. Somebody has Netflix's back in this. So,
in all honesty, who gives a rat's ass about the award shows anyway? The Oscars,
they're all political anyway.
Well, they're all made up. It's like most of the awards, they campaign.
Funny movie ever.
What was it? Denzel Washington kind of cracked open the whole thing that one year when he said what he said. Basically, the studios campaigned to have people win awards.
Right.
It's like, so what's the point? And it's like, how much stuff is not represented at the Oscars? How many awards are not given to movies that rightfully deserve them? Also, why is it always art films that win movie of the year when it's most people go see Transformers or freaking X-Men or some shit? You never see those movies get nominated.
Yeah, I'm not going to knock. What was it? The one with about the Life of Pi, whatever it was. And
I didn't like that movie. I thought it was dumb.
I'm just using examples it's an art house type of movie, and it was, yet that wins 15 Oscars, and so forth and so on. Yet everybody's like, why isn't this, this, that, and other thing? Or, oh, yeah, we need more representation in regards to this. Yet, all right, why wasn't, Black Panther now gets an award. I think got award this past Oscar season. But it's like, wait a minute, why wasn't something like Blade?
Let's be honest about why Black Panther got an award.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we got to do it now.
It's it's called virtue signaling.
It's pretty much. It's like they're virtual signaling. People up in arms in regards to this. You had Will Smith's wife a couple, I think it was like 2 years ago, a year or two ago, saying that we should kind of boycott the Oscars because of representation. And what happens pretty much a year or two later? Black Panther gets in the nominations and wins.
Which is good because finally a superhero does, and that movie was awesome, by the way. But it is, kind of true because if you think about it, everybody makes movies, even from the richest person to the poorest person. It doesn't matter if they're color skin or not. They put their heart and soul, and they do, I guess, by Spielberg's way. They should be recognized. Now, you are right. Not a lot of us will go see half these movies that win rewards, and you're going, how did they win? So that's where you're going, the companies are campaigning. Like, half the shows that gave rewards and win, I don't even know who they are. I haven't even seen it, and the only reason I know about it is because it's flashed everywhere after or about when the rewards are given. So it's one of the things where I think they need to really look in and see how it's done, who gets it. And I'm sorry, some of their movie categories are ridiculous. Like, they put The Martian, which is basically like a drama, under comedy. Because, is it Ricky? What's his name? He was making fun of it.
Ricky Gervais?
Yeah, he was making fun of it. And it was not a comedy. There's some humor parts in it, but it was literally a guy stuck on Mars. I don't find that funny. Right. But they put it under community. So it tells you right there and there. They don't know what they're doing.
Not only that, it's like there's a lot of things behind the scenes as well. It's like I remember one year, there's a lot of folks that if you're a presenter or you got an award, or there are a lot of the big shots also behind the scenes, they get goodie bags. I don't mean a little goodie thing full of like dollar store stuff. They're getting iPad, the high-end iPads, iPhones, Galaxy S10s, high-end laptops in this bag, and plus they get makeup that's several $1,000s for a set. They get these bags are worth like 5, 6, 8, 10 grand a piece worth of value if you went out and bought them yourselves. Yeah. Each item yourselves, and they're just giving away. Yeah,
well, it's all companies that are trying to get these people to buy their shit, basically promote them to them.
Right.
It's all promotion shit, and it's these people can afford to buy that stuff a million times over, but the companies want to just give it away to them to try and get in their favor.
Right, and it's a tax write-off for the folks like Apple or whoever donate stuff to that goodie bag or that show bag or whatever it is. It's like, oh, here's a little bag for, hi, welcome to the Oscars, you got on stage, here you go. So, oh, you and your band performed a little segment on the Oscars, here you go, here's a bag. Here's your goodie bag. Here's your goodie bag. It's worth about 10 grand.
If people just stop watching the Oscars and stop participating in all that shit, maybe we wouldn't have to worry about it,
Yeah, your goodie bag this year includes a $100,000 Rolex. Here you go.
You suck.
But on another kind of brighter note, Disney released information about their streaming service recently. I won't say recently, within the past week. It was like maybe Thursday or Friday that they released a lot of their information. The presentation was weird because it was a investors presentation, meaning it was something for their investors, but they live streamed it to everybody. I guess it was like an official leak. It wasn't a leak, but it wasn't really an official release. In a way, it was kind of odd, but they kind of released a lot of information about their Disney Plus streaming service, and what it's going to have. pretty much what they promised. It's going to have originals. It's going to have a lot of their back catalog. It's going to have the Star Wars stuff. It's going to have a couple of exclusives that they deem not movie worthy, but meaning like, Dumbo failed, but we have a lot of movies in the pike already made that we got to release them somehow. Oh, let's just put them on the streaming service.
Yeah, right.
In a way, it's going to be available on. From what I heard, that this is factual. It's going to be available on smartphones, which means Android and iOS, smart TVs, Roku devices, and Google devices, Amazon devices that are smart plug-in your TV type things. Plus, it's going to be available on the app. This was released today, if not yesterday. It's going to be available on every console, which means the Switch, the PlayStation 4, and Xbox. So that's a plus for someone like myself. The price point is, at least for right now, a lot of the speculators are saying that price could increase over the next year. But for right now, it's going to be about $7 a month, ad-free, and there's going to be a year option that you could purchase, and it's going to be, I think, $70 for the year.
Well, that's not bad.
So if you want to secure the year option, and you got, I think, $70, you pick up $70, you give them $70, and you got a year of Disney Plus. So that way, if 3 months down the line, 4 months down the line, or even 6 months down the line, they decide, okay, $10 a month, you're still locked in for that year. So that's good.
Yeah.
And especially if you could do it in a yearly basis, that's also good.
Yeah.
And it's ad-free, available on all devices. Said that. What else? There was something else about it too. There's going to be a lot of their exclusive content, which I'm going to probably... the release date, that's what I was forgetting. The release date, it's going to be November 12th. So, and a lot of, like, the name change and everything else, if there's a name change, it's going to be between now and November 12th. They showed the layout, which a lot of people didn't like the layout, and that's just preliminary for right now. But they have a lot until November 12th before everything becomes finalized. Which is a good time for me. Is that all I have to do is wait maybe about a month, drop $70 during when I get better hours, or for that, and just like, oh, $70, there you go, and I'm all set for the year. It's year to year, and I'll be happy. I'll be like, Disney stuff. But also, from what I heard, I don't think The Simpsons will be airing anymore on Hulu, even though Disney has like a 50+% stake in Hulu right now. But now that they own Fox, The Simpsons are going to be a Disney Plus exclusive. So in regards to how everything falls, in regards to how well everything streams and everything else, we'll know in the first few weeks of when the service drops. Stay tuned to this podcast, because good chance we will be testing that service ourselves, because at least I'm a cord cutter. I'll probably be getting the Disney Plus for a lot of their back catalog, and I'll be happy if they have a lot of their old school live action stuff. Especially bed knobs and broomsticks. I've been dying to see that for years. But I know I could probably find it on like Vudu, but I want to see it on part of the streaming. God dang it! But that's just one person's opinion. Are you excited for Disney Plus, Big Candy?
I kind of am. I mean, to be honest with you, like everything that they've taken over financially, like their back catalog is pretty extensive. And for the price point being $7.99 or $70 for the year, that's really not that terrible. If you think about all the stuff that would be included in that, I could probably foot the bill for that.
And the thing is, you're getting the secondary benefits of it as well a little bit because you got a little one at home, and so that's like an added plus for you. It's strictly kids content, and I think there's also parental controls built into the app too, kind of like how Netflix has parental controls. So I guess that's something even you could fill in with in regards to review if you get your hands on the app as well, and letting everybody know as a parent how everything kind of falls with that aspect. You could provide a unique perspective on that end too.
Well, if it's anywhere near as good as the one for the Switch, then it'll be amazing because I can control every aspect of his gaming. If I don't want him on there, he can't be on there. If I want him to have a bedtime, that thing shuts off right when I tell it to. It's like, and that's all controlled through an app on my phone.
Right.
So it's pretty incredible how they can do that, you know.
And that kind of provides a little bit of a segue. We have other things that we could talk about that kind of released after this, but
did you hear? And this is something that pertains to us too, about PewDiePie going to a different platform potentially.
No, I did not hear about that.
I can't remember what it's called, so I'm a bad reporter. But you could probably look that up. But I want to say it's like D-Link or D-Bit, something like that. It's a cryptocurrency based streaming service that's coming out. And he's pretty much like their rock star right now. Like he's got a home button and everything on the site. And this is in the face of Facebook, or in the face of YouTube. Like he basically is like, listen, YouTube, you want to keep restricting like content and like doing things to me. I'll just take me and all my watchers and go over here to this new streaming service. And
the thing is,
since it's like crypto based, there's no censorship.
Right, and not to mention. For the folks at home not familiar with what's been happening with PewDiePie, aside from the new, in essence, the old media like Wall Street Journal or Washington Post, whatever it is, using him as the prime example of, he said the N-word, so therefore he's a racist. Said it once in anger. He's a racist all feeling through. Someone said before they mass murdered a bunch of people, subscribe to PewDiePie. Therefore, he's part of all that. No, they just want to debunk YouTube and him because he's got the most subscribers. But over the past couple of months, he's been in a war, in essence, a subscriber war with an Indian production company. We're talking about the country, folks, not Native Americans. An Indian production company called T-Series. And for the top #1 spot on YouTube, I think right now PewDiePie is close to 95 million and change. And T-Series is a few thousand subscribers below that. But at one point, T-Series passed PewDiePie and became #1. Now, again, T-Series is a production company, not one person. So, therefore, there's a lot to be said about PewDiePie. He built up that empire of 95 million plus subscribers all by himself. So, kudos to PewDiePie. And whether you like him or hate him, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Right?
Yeah.
He built it up himself. And T-Series is a production company. And everybody, it's pretty much like India's, I won't say NBC, but it's like their Universal Studios. Everybody's got to follow, that country T-Series. So what PewDiePie came out, he came out with a diss track. So, congrats T-Series, with all you done. It's like, yeah, you really fought fair in this. I'm giving you kudos, but then again, who could trust a company like yourselves that built your empire on selling pirated music and colluding with the mafia in your country and, all these, stuff that was, coming out about T-Series in their country, that they were doing illegal stuff and controversies and stuff. And that's what he put in his diss track. So T-Series went to a court in their country to have those videos banned on YouTube and taken down.
Right.
I don't know if they had been or not, but it's something that they're trying to do because he called them out on their shit, on their stuff. But it's like, wait a minute, it's like he called you out. He pretty much, I'd say he has the right to call them out.
Yeah.
It was a fun song to listen to. It was like, oh, damn, damn. If Larry was watching this, he'd be on the floor going, damn. But it was just weird. And it's like, yeah, no. It's like, yeah, PewDiePie, go. It's like, do what you need to do.
Well, I say this much, like, if you don't know much about, like, that D-Live or whatever.
Right. The thing is, let's say, well, that's the point I was trying to make, is that if YouTube says, you know what, we had enough of your take down these videos, and all PewDiePie has to go is go, well, I'm going to this D-Live thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, I also had a Patreon. Guess what? I'm pulling my crap from Patreon too. Patreon goes, because they're not going to have, they're pulling, like, you know what, you're banned off of Patreon. Therefore, they're losing their money that they're getting, and PewDiePie leaves.
Oh, the point is, the D-Live site, it's crypto-based. Like, apparently, like, they're not taking any cut of creators' content. They're basically offering this service to where, like, they're hosting, but their creators are getting, they're basically getting 100% of the profits and revenue.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a way better deal all the way around.
The YouTubers that were getting paid before the adpocalypse and all that was going down, they were getting, for the exception of the live streams and the super chats, they were getting a full cut, $1, depending on the how high you up. Meaning PewDiePie might get paid, have a bit bigger cut. He might be getting like $2 for every 1,000, where some smaller YouTubers are getting maybe $1 a 1,000, so to speak. But that, if you speak to somebody like Boogie2988 or PewDiePie or any big YouTuber, they're just going to say roughly about the average is $1 a 1,000.
Right.
So, because it's roughly easy math. And for the big folks going, wait a minute, if PewDiePie leaves, everybody else, like, wait a minute, PewDiePie left. Then you might have someone like Markiplier jump ship. He's got a big number too, I think. You get all these big names going over to this one channel because PewDiePie left, and he's getting all this. Yeah. And like, wait a minute, I don't have to deal with a multi-channel network. I don't get a cut. Or have an instance like what happened with MatPat and a bunch of other YouTubers with a multi-channel network that pretty much stole a grand total of like $1 million+ out of YouTubers' pockets. Right. I think you heard that story, have you? Something about it. Basically, to folks at home, to kind of summarize best way I can. What happened was this multi-channel network. How they work is YouTube pays the network the money that if a YouTuber makes, let's say, gets $30,000 from YouTube. That channel, that network, if that YouTuber is part of a network, they get a cut. It's not a 10% cut. It's not a 15% cut. It could be up to a 50% cut of that. So that YouTuber will walk away. Let's go high, 50%. That YouTuber is making $15,000 either per video or per year, depending on how big they are.
Right.
At the end of the day, then they have to pay taxes. But we're not talking about that right now. This MCU had that money, that full, let's say $30,000. In this case, it's $1.5 million total over every person in their network, which included Matt Pat, who runs Film Theory and Game Theory. And like I said, that total was $1.5 million that was supposed to go, I think from what Matt said, that $1.5 million was supposed to be spread out across every YouTuber that they were a part of, including Matt Pat himself. And they just pretty much said, nope, you're not going to get that. It's our money. They pretty much stole it, and they were using that money. The network was using that money, saying, "Hey, investors, we have this money. This is our money. Give more money to us." In essence, they were kind of doing a Ponzi scheme sort of thing.
Right, yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It's not really a Ponzi scheme, but it just sounds like it, because they were just using that money to say, "Hey, we've got this money. It's in our bank account." Or I should say, they were having two books. They were showing investors one book, yet they were using another book.
Right, yeah.
And you're still playing with that silly putty, aren't you?
No.
Well, I'm calling shenanigans. But like I said, it came to light that they had this $1.5 million, and it belonged to the YouTubers that never got this money. Right. And it's like they're out. This was over a span of months. And when the bank finally took over to spread this money out, or should distributed this $1.5 million to the YouTubers, the bank pretty much said, no, you're not going to get that money. We're going to give it to the people that the channel, the network owes money to, which means us, the light company, the cable the internet company, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it came out, I think Matt Pat said, you want to notice the effed up part of everything is that the channel network is part of this bank's board of directors, which means that they have a say of where a chunk of this money goes or stays, which means the YouTubers, there's a chance the YouTubers will never see a dime of this money. So, damn. Again, it's like, wait a minute, I don't have to deal with, as we were saying, that PewDiePie said, like, well, I don't have to deal with an MCN, or other YouTubers follow it. Wait a minute, I don't have to deal with an MCN. I get everything. I could bring all my subscribers over to this channel. We're all making bank. Yay. Yeah. You know? And it could be the player that YouTube finally fears, instead of like Daily Motion and Vimo and these smaller ones that are barely either breaking even or...
Well, they pretty much have the same business model, and they're not really doing anything different. It seems like this D Live is going to be basically like for the creators.
Which could be a good thing, and especially all I have to do is set up a cryptocurrency wallet, you know, and right. Just...
And essentially just sit there and, like, do your thing. So, I think it's pretty smart. I think it's a pretty smart thing that he did. Basically, it was a big move of his. Basically, he's telling YouTube, back off, or I'll take my subscribers, and you can suck it, you know.
Yeah, it's a valid. You could have that valid threat. And it's like, well, you treat. He could say, as well. It's like you better treat the little guys good too. Quit moving the goalposts and just let them grow too, because we're the ones that made who you are. We could take that away, and if that happens, there could be a change in a way, meaning that YouTube could say, you know what, we don't need you. We were going to go with NBC and CBS anyway, and people like them. So, and we don't have to pay CBS any funds. We don't have to pay NBC any funds. We'll just, go. So,
yeah.
Which will be funny too, is because who the Washington Post pick on now, if that happens. Well, we don't have any creators on YouTube to pick on in regards to these remarks and those remarks. Who do we get to pick on? It's like, yeah.
Well, how credible is the Washington Post anymore anyway?
That's true. So, I guess they could pick on BuzzFeed.
Yeah, right. And how credible are they?
Yeah.
So, moving on.
Let's talk a little bit, because we've kind of talking about gamers a little bit. A lot of big news was dropped the past few weeks. I'm going to kind of, because let's talk about, before we get into Borderlands a little bit, let's talk about Anthem. I don't know how much you know about Anthem, but Anthem, when it was announced at E3 last year, for the folks at home, and for Big Candy if he doesn't know, but I'll refresh his memory, Anthem last year at E3 was going to be the quote-unquote Destiny killer. That's how it was sold to everybody. It was going to be kind of like the Destiny killer. It's going to have wonderful graphics. You could do X, Y, and Z, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, we got to buy Anthem." And a little bit more, and earlier this year, Anthem was released. It was almost as bad, if not worse, than Fallout 76.
Oh Lord!
It ranked in the regards of No Man's Sky when it was released, Fallout 76 when it was released. It took probably the third spot, if not the number one spot, because it came out later, maybe a couple of days later, the best weapon in the game was the one that you were given at the start of the game. Literally. There were no variety of weapons. The weapons that you got was just a skin variant of another weapon. That's it. Or if the stats were there, it was like, okay, this does, it's like a flamethrower. It does no additional damage, no stacking damage, and basically it does no damage at all. It's just there. It's just nothing. Plus, no matter what you did, you would have to go through a loading screen. Want to change weapons and go into your inventory? A 3-minute loading screen, or longer. When you got back out of that menu, that you got another loading screen. In order to, at times, people were reporting, yeah, I go into my inventory to change the weapons out for this mission, and go out back into the game and wait another 2-3 minutes for the loading screen, in order to find out the change never took place. Now, it came out that BioWare and EA put out an update that shortened this loading time, if not took away some loading times altogether. Then, mid to sometime in March, I think it was, Kotaku, whether they hold any credibility to anybody, came out with pretty much a in-depth article. I mean, from what I heard, it was long. That they listed every problem that Anthem had and what went wrong in the company. I think it was mentioned that there was a lot of upper management problems in it on both BioWare and EA. in regards to mismanaging the people a part of this, it also came out in this article that it took BioWare 7 years total to make this game. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, that's not too bad." Yeah, you're right. That's not too bad because even though we'll be talking about them in a few minutes, Borderlands. They've been developing that game. Gearbox and I think 2K again have been developing that game for the past couple of years. But what happened with BioWare and this game, Anthem, for 6 years out of that 7, it was completely development. Not programming, development. Doing the concept art, the models, that's it. That's it. The planning, the concept art. It only for about 16 months at max was actual programming done. And during that time, EA would say, okay, you guys that are programming right now, stop what you're doing, go work on FIFA for a few months. And that's what that group did. And after about 3 months, they would come back to whatever they were working on in Anthem. So that hindered the progress of the game. And there were people who were programming different levels. Management on either through BioWare or through EA would come down and say, okay, we don't want any flying in this game. So the folks programming the levels had to delete all the levels that they worked on that included flying and start from scratch again. And they'd get almost done with those levels in order for management to come back again. Oh yeah, upper management played the game. They don't like how it is. Put flying back in. So they had to dump all those levels and make new levels. And it was just a lot of stuff like that, and just mismanagement, bad planning, and one person who quit told the people writing the article, said, "Yeah, we tried to tell them, it's like, this isn't what goes on in Destiny. Destiny is, how we're trying to be as a standard. They're the current standard is Destiny." And management is like, you don't talk about Destiny, you don't bring up Destiny, you don't do nothing about Destiny. And it was like, alright, and they got a shit game, literally, that came out. And I think right now, no one's playing it. I think even Mad Eye Marky wanted to give me his copy of the game. I'm like, wow. I got a crap ton of games right now that I got to play. I don't need another one. It's like, I'm not going to play it. So it's that bad. Literally that bad. To kind of move on, it's like this. Let me put it like this, folks. Search if you want to know more about the details and kind of behind the scenes in regards to this article. I'm going to direct a lot of you to go to Angry Joe's channel on YouTube. Just type in Angry Joe and Anthem, and those videos will probably come up. They'll be probably within the 1 and 2 spot. It'll probably be his angry review and his review in regard to the Kotaku article. So, and he does a wonderful job to explain it in the details. He does a deep dive with his crew in regards to our article. He does a better job than we are right now. So, I don't think Big Candy could disagree with me saying something like that and handing the full analysis to someone like Angry Joe. To kind of move on with Borderlands 3, because it was one of the things that people were looking forward to at PAX East this year. I think it was PAX or PAX East, and it was released. The teaser trailer was released, the development trailer was released, and there was a teaser, an actual gameplay trailer, and a developer's trailer for it. 3 trailers that were dropped over the course of this. During the announcement, there was 2 trailers dropped, and there was a teaser. And people lost their minds, literally. The presentation itself, from what I've seen of it, sucked ass because there was a lot of technical problems going on with the announcement. But with the trailers, from what we saw, now here's the kicker, folks. Gearbox, 2K, when it comes to Borderlands, they love the fans. Literally, they love the fans. So they decided to mess with the fans big time, and in a good way. And if you really watch the trailers, people noticed that there were letters and numbers hidden in the trailers. And what Gearbox does is they have this program called shift codes for their games. And if you type in a code for that game, you get free skins, or a free weapon, or something along that, completely free, which is a good thing from the company. And with Borderlands, what started with Borderlands 2 and the prequel is that you could enter in the shift codes and get keys for a chest to get better weapons and shields and stuff for your character, completely free, I might add. Unlike what kind of Destiny does, you heard me bitch about this a lot of times when reviewing Destiny. Free keys, free loot, not locked behind a paywall. Free key, and what Borderlands, Randy Pitchford did in the past was like, hey, we're at the Video Game Awards. We're nominated. Because we're nominated, here's a shift code for 5 keys. Here, we won for best music for a game. Here's a key code for 5 keys. What? We won another best game of the year. Here's a key code for 5 keys. He's celebrating. It's like, we're happy we won. Here's something for you, the fans, making us all, let's celebrate by giving stuff for the fans. And in these trailers, in the teaser trailer was a shift code. In essence, the codes were given in order. Okay, this is the first 5 numbers, the second, so forth and so on. The first trailer, the teaser, had a key code for a clothing skin, or clothing outfit, or facial skin, or like a hat and glasses, and 5 keys. The developer code had a different kind of outfit for your character, and 5 keys. The gameplay trailer, in it, people found another shift code for 100 keys for either the Borderlands 2 or the prequel. 100 keys for those who are still playing the game.
Did you say 100?
100 keys, 1 and 2 zeros, for free.
Wow.
Now, granted, there was maybe about a 3-4 day limit for that code that you could enter in, but still, you got free code, your free keys. I know for our show account, for my personal account, I got 100 keys for my character, my gamer tag on my private account, my personal account, and the show's account got 100 keys as well. In essence, 110 keys in total. All right. So I loved what I saw. There's a lot of speculation in regards to Borderlands 3. It might be more open. From what the trailer looks like, it's more equivalent of, they're taking a playbook from Destiny, or at least 2 plays from Destiny. We have to wait until the game actually drops this September 13th to find out more in regards to how the game is set up. I'm sure within the next, it's April right now, so April, May, June, July, August, September, 5 months, we will know more how the game is set up, the player character trees, and so forth and so on. But it looks a little bit like how Destiny is, meaning more open world than just one place. You can go to different worlds. There's loads of vehicles, and they're doing a lot of things that are Borderlands-esque in that style of game. One thing that came out is that their loot system, I've heard 2 different things. I heard one is that they're going to be, the loot system is strictly player based. It's going to have the aspect of Borderlands where it's loot everywhere. You want loot, you're going to get loot. You kill a big bad boss, you're going to get a crap ton of loot everywhere. Guns, a bazillion guns, and good chance they're going to promise on that and deliver. But meaning, if you play the game with me, if there's cross-platform, you'll be able to play the game, and I get a chance to play with you. meaning that what you see on your system is going to be different than what I see on my system. Kind of meaning that if there's a 6 item drop, 6, let's say 3 guns and 3 items, personal items for the character, you see 6 different things and I see 6 different things. Now, depending on how we have our game, the other thing I heard is that is in the system, whoever's hosting can turn off that option, which means we can compete for that same loot. Again, we don't know more until I can at least get my hands on the game.
Right.
Well, I'll be pre-ordering this game. You damn stinking believe it. But I'm not big of a Borderlands fan. Yeah, but a little bit of drama did come out in regards to Borderlands 3, and is that one of the voice actors, his name is I have it here, Troy Baker. Now, for the folks out there who are not familiar with a lot of people that do voice acting in games, there are a lot of big names. Troy Baker voiced a character in the Telltale's game for Borderlands, which was like a offshoot sequel to Borderlands 2. It was like a in-between sequel to kind of bridge between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. He voiced one of the main characters. He came out about a few days later after the announcement saying, he wanted to be a part of Borderlands 3, but he wasn't invited to be a part of to voice his character again, and so forth and so on. He was whining and complaining that he wasn't invited, and so forth and so on. But Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Borderlands, he said, we spoke to our voice director, and they asked him, he said the voice director said, we asked Troy to come in and be a part of Borderlands 3, and he said no. He doesn't want to be a part of it. So ain't that some shit?
Why?
I guess, for whatever reason, we don't know. I think he was trying to make additional demands in regards to it, and they probably said, I think where the truth lies is that he was making way too many demands, and they just said, you know what, no,
so they're smart because they know they can pay somebody else to do the same job.
Not let me put it like this. I think there might be a lot of factors in regards to this.
He's like, I'm Troy Baker. You guys have to have me.
That could have been something along those lines where Borderlands 2K. What was that?
I was saying the gamers won't know the difference. Who cares?
Probably not. The thing is, Gearbox said, okay, we're going to be offering the standard stuff, and Troy probably said, no, I don't want that. But then again, over the past, since he was probably at last employed by Gearbox or whoever's putting out this game, I think it is Gearbox, that is, you had that voice actor strike in regards to gaming. And I guess he wants more demands now, and they just probably, I think the truth is just that. He's trying to make the demands, and Gearbox said, you know what, no, it's not going to be that taxing, it's not going to be this. So I don't want to say that's where the truth lies. But will I be playing the game? Yeah, I'll be picking it up. Will I notice or care? No. But the thing is, there will be one other voice actor not a part of this game that will be, I think, he voiced 2 characters in the game. One was Claptrap, and the other one was Scooter. For the folks that are listening that have not played Borderlands, Scooter is next to Mr. Torque, is everybody's favorite. Mr. Torque, I know, Big Candy, you haven't played this game. Mr. Torque will remind you of every 80s wrestler. Literally. He's muscle bound, he talks like a wrestler, he acts like an 80s wrestler, like a combination of Hulk Hogan, Warrior, and Macho Man all rolled into one. And it's hysterical, and he's hard to describe, but he's like, yeah, everybody loves this guy because he reminds everybody of an 80s wrestler. But the reason why everybody likes Scooter as well is because he's this redneck car guy. And when people say Borderlands, the first thing that comes to mind is Scooter saying, "Catch a ride." And the reason why the voice actor won't be voicing Scooter or Claptrap is because from what I read, between the first Borderlands and the second Borderlands, he had like cancer. I think throat cancer or something like that, and he had an operation. That's why he sounds different between one game to the next. And it came. I think he said something along the lines. Folks at home who know the story fully, email us at longcoatmafia@gmail.com and fill me in as to the details. But I think he had a recurrence, or it came back, and he just couldn't continue with the character because of all these health issues that he was having. So his last voice role as Scooter was in the Telltale's game, Tales from Borderlands. So he will be missed. His character was, spoilers, killed off, but it's due to health issues. I can completely understand that. There was no ill will between him and Gearbox and 2K. It's just that he had to step away due to health. So best wishes to him. I think we found that. I knew this maybe about a year or two ago, but it wasn't. I don't think we were doing the show back then, or something that would have been really newsworthy at the time until now.
Right.
But also that what was announced during this presentation from Gearbox/2K was that there was a remastered edition to be released within a few days of the announcement of remastered Game of the Year edition for the current generation of consoles, which means PS4, Xbox One, of the original Borderlands game, with a few improvements to it, other than just polished graphics. Meaning that if you bought the Game of the Year edition, there would be a golden chest for everybody to enjoy. Everybody will be given shift codes will be a part of it. Therefore, if they want to release shift codes at some point, you can enter a shift code and get new keys for these chests. Everybody who signs in to the shift codes in the game of this new edition got like 75 keys or something like that for this chest. Instead of being 2-player co-op, it's now 4-player on the same screen for each system, which is nice. And a lot of other stuff like that, little tweaks. But they kept a lot of stuff a part of it. Now, this is what I like about remastered stuff. I can now review Borderlands, the Game of the Year edition, remastered for this show. And let me give you a couple of my thoughts for it. It's glitchy as hell, literally. A lot of that glitchiness that I love is still there, and it's still... I think some of the glitches have been amplified a little bit. And some of the other glitches, from what I was told, are still kind of there, meaning that there is a menu glitch if you're playing with 2 players on the same screen. There is still the weapons duplication glitch. You could do it on the same screen, but I think it's tougher now because of how a lot of the systems, current gen systems, have the 2-player split screen set up. I tried to do it with the show's account and my old account, and it didn't really happen. But I want to chalk it up now, folks at home. Let me say this: you are able, and you are, not just are able to import any character you had with the original Borderlands. Meaning, if I had a 360, Xbox 360, Big Candy knows this because he's seen it. But I had the original Borderlands game when it came out. My one character is like overpowered, legitimately overpowered, and because everybody in that game modded, both on their PC and the console, modded characters to hell. Because of those modders giving me mods, my Roland is overpowered, legitimately overpowered, one-shot kill, overpowered. And because some of those weapons are modded, it's kind of hard to say if the game itself is saying, okay, these weapons are modded, therefore this new character is not going to get those weapons or be able to keep those weapons. But the character that you imported over gets to keep those weapons. And let me say this as well, because you're able to import the character with all your weapons, all your stats, and everything else is a plus. Take that, 343 Studios with your Master Chief collection. Because I say that because all those great maps I made for Halo 3 are gone. I have no way of importing those maps. Thank you so much. You bastards. Now,
so
yes, I'm still diving with that joke.
Well,
Now, like I said, do I like Borderlands, the original Game of the Year edition? Yes. Like most games that you're able to import a character or stats into, I got like 400 and some odd gamer score just by importing my character because of all the stats and the level it was. But I'm kind of replaying the game as a brand new character for the show and trying to stream either through Twitch or Mixer or a combination thereof. But to play with other characters, I don't know how it is, since I have no one with the game that I know on the Xbox One with the Game of the Year edition. I don't know about player connectivity. I can't test that. What I was able to test in regards to multiplayer or going into another player's game to either help them out or play with them, I can't do that. Legit, it's not connectivity on my end. I think the folks that are showing up in the multiplayer aspect of things, because you could choose who you want to, whose match you want to go in as a public match. I think their settings are under friend only or friends list only, so you can't really go into it. And because there's so many listing there, the best option is the quick match option, which means I think Gearbox finds somebody that has open settings and has room for you to go in to that match. Now, here's where the problem occurs, or at least I found out with that. I could go into that match easily. My settings are completely open. I have great settings. The Xbox, when I tested my system, saying, hey, everything's cool. You're fine. But I could go into a quick match, last maybe about 3 minutes at most before it starts to glitch and kicks me out for connectivity issues. But me playing with someone who has had the game before, it's hard to say. I don't know if it's a bug or not. I have to wait until somebody I know has a copy themselves in order to play with. But then again, I don't know, is because, it's kind of hard for me to say, it's because my main character, my main account, I'm using a modded character in a way, is that the system is preventing me from going into a match to easily help them out, in essence, quote unquote, cheat. But it's not really cheating. It's kind of hard to say. But then again, and because of the show's character being on the same system as my main account, it's kind of hard to say whether or not... Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I was trying to listen to the missus to see if she was chiming in. It's kind of... What?
Our cat's a weirdo.
Oh. But it's kind of hard to say if the matchmaking system in the Game of the Year edition is saying that it's the same console as this modded character. It's not letting me stay in a match too long. So, I don't know. I still have to test it. Let me put it like that, folks. Do I love it? Kind of, but it feels, after playing Borderlands 2 for so long and the pre-sequel for so long, it feels very restrictive. it's still the fun old Borderlands that I enjoyed playing with Mad Eye Markey and everybody else on my friends list, but it just feels a little restrictive, especially after the improvements that the sequel had and the prequel had. So there's that. So, and well, it pretty much looks like the folks from Victims and Villains are still having a great time with their stream. Say that. And let me say it like this. I almost lost the train of thought. Big Candy, do you want to chime in on anything in regards to Borderlands?
Yeah. There's a couple things. Well, I guess segueing to more video game news. Did you hear about the new Switch consoles that are coming out this year?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you don't have a Switch, so you're unfamiliar with it, but the basic Switch came out, like, what, 2 years ago, something like that?
Something like that.
Well, what they're doing is they're coming out with, and this is all, sorry, I'm still playing with the putty. It's coming out with this version. There's basically a basic version, a new basic version, and a pro version, which is supposed to have some added features on it. Because apparently, like, there's some gamers that are really playing on the Switch and stuff. So apparently, that's the new thing coming out is a pro version and a basic version for people to enjoy the Switch.
Now, folks, I want to comment on what Big Candy stated and give my thoughts on it. But I just want to let Big Candy know that thanks to you, I'm thinking of breaking our 2+ year streak in original content posting ups right now to post up the introduction of the old Electric Eye episode that introduced the executive soundboard box episode.
I can't stop playing with this putty.
Yeah.
It's too much fun.
I don't think we posted that episode up ever on the here at the Long Coat Mafia podcast as a retro episode. So I gotta dig deep to see if I could find it, and if it's a rerun, it's a rerun. But I think you folks will finally understand why I think this farting putty would be a new gag now. I told Big Candy that it's him getting revenge of me bringing out the executive soundboard all those years ago. Revenge is his revenge. But
but yeah. So anyway, what do you think of the Switch?
It's something for, I know. Granted, a PS4. Even though it's this late in the console's lifespan, would be better for the show. That way I could bring more content to YouTube from a show standpoint. But as a kind of even a casual gamer wants me to pick up at least the Pro version of the Nintendo Switch, because when I heard that they were bring a Link's Awakening to the Switch as a, not so much a remake, but an upgraded version of it. And I was like, ooh, that's making me consider getting a Switch right there, especially with like maybe Mario Maker and all that.
Right.
So, plus if there's aspects to the Switch that allows me to go to Twitch and stream, and I'm able to do that without any hassle from Nintendo. Right. Therefore, what better way to team up with my co-host if we can do that?
Yeah.
Me being the host to Twitch and him hopping in either on like maybe Borderlands or something that has a multiplayer to it that we're able to do it, whether it's Minecraft or anything we could team up on and have fun with to bring more content to you, our listeners, in some way, then I would have to wait to see more stats, and hopefully we can do that. And maybe sometime later this year, I'll consider let me put it like this: heck, if the baseline Switch I could find as a pawn shop find and put maybe $50 a week or a month on it, then I'll do that.
I think the current model is like $299. So I'm guessing the new super basic model is going to be like a step down or something, and it'd probably be like, I don't know, maybe in the $199 category. And I'm thinking like the Pro model might be like $399 or $400.
All right, I'm going to bring up Chrome on my. I know I could do this, folks, on my computer, but I have my phone handy dandy here. I'm going to search up, can the Switch stream on Twitch? There it is. It says before you need to connect your Nintendo Switch console to your. You guys connect it to your computer to do it that way. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully. Because we reported on the show, so how to stream to Switch. Let's see here. Both need to stream right in the box, but if you want to stream Nintendo Switch, you're gonna have to do things the old-fashioned way and get a capture card. Hopefully, this new edition, you can stream out of the box. If you can, it's just a matter of me being the host and you connecting to a game that I have. But if you can understand that, because I'll be able to do it here, and you just need to have a decent connection, and I'll have no problem with that because I'll probably be doing the most streaming anyway. But who knows? It's something to wait and see.
Right.
But until then, hopefully, folks, if we'll keep an ear to the ground, and once the console comes out and I find out that with this new Pro Edition, you could easily stream to Twitch or right from the box, like a PS3 or an Xbox One can. Now, folks, as I said, we reported on the show a few months ago, that folks from Microsoft were helping, or if not from the Xbox One camp at Microsoft, were speaking with Nintendo folks in regards to improving their online aspects for Nintendo in order to help with cross-play and connectability and so forth and so on. So who knows? Maybe this Pro Nintendo Switch will allow folks to connect to Twitch easy and so forth and so on. We'll have to see.
That might be one of the key selling points on it.
Yeah, if it is, it'll be something for at least me to look into in the upcoming months. And I'm the kind of person, when it comes to a new console, I give it a few months. That way, if there's any issues or problems, I know about it before jumping in firsthand, which is just great practice anyway. I think I waited a good year or two before getting a 360. So
get all the bugs out.
Get on the essence bugs. No, what'd I do? I cleared it. Dang, Neb, I'm a bastard. I'm a bastard because it was me.
The last thing I guess I wanted to bring up, and this is, I don't know if you had it in your notes or not. Of course, we got a released trailer for the new Star Wars.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. I watched it. A lot of people are speculating it right now. All we have are theories. Even a lot of the folks that have hated on the Last Jedi harder than you and I do, and we do as a show, are kind of intrigued right now. And I know there's at least several channels that have built themselves up because of The Last Jedi, primarily off The Last Jedi, hating what Lucasfilm has done over the past couple of months, or I should say since The Last Jedi. And I'm not one to complain too much, because our Captain Marvel episode that we put out last month or so it's still getting downloads and listens, and it's like, wait a minute, we got new content right here. But no, we're going to this the episode titled "The Trolls Are Coming to Get You, Captain Marvel." So let me just say this, because folks at home, I'm the type of person that I'm open with our numbers and all that. It is our... Bring it up right now. Heck with it. I'm going to tell you guys the current number for the... we are... Yep, it's gained up a few extra listens. And dashboard. And let's see, what is... That's Darkstone. No. That's after Darkstone. Yeah, it is up to 119 total listens. Downloads. The same number. It's been growing ever since, steadily, by leaps and bounds. It's like it gets like 2 or 3 extra listens a week, if not more. And because of the whole aspect of the controversy behind Captain Marvel, so forth and so on. But that's why I'm just using it as an example, folks. Like, I'm not really one to complain. Look what I did with Captain Marvel. Even though I was just reporting on everything that's been happening with it. And with this new trailer, yes, did I watch it? Yes, it has me intrigued. A lot of people have looked at Rey kind of doing her backflip in regards to attacking the TIE fighter. One theory in regards to that is that it could be part of her training, additional training, lightsaber training in a way, to attack something that big. That's why she wasn't fired upon. But and there's a lot of different aspects to it, and to kind of it's kind of hard not to spoil a trailer, because it's a trailer anyway. We hear Palpatine's laugh at the end of the trailer. What part he plays in the movie, we don't know. But
the actor who played him in the movie said he would never, like, play that again. Like, he said, I think, a quote, he said that character is dead.
Now, let me put it like this. That actor could say, in the past, say that character is dead. Never played that character again. All of a sudden, how long has it been? Close to, what, almost 20 years? Since, at least 15 years since the prequels came out?
Yeah.
Something like that. Give or take a few years.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Disney with a trunk full of money. Dump truck full of money. You want to play Palpatine again? Nope. Cue the dump truck. And dump truck backs in and dumps a pile of cash in front of the actor, and then all of a sudden says, "You know what? I think I'll do the role." You gonna say no to a crap ton of money? No. No. So there's a chance. Will it be a flashback? I don't know. Will he? There's another aspect of it too. He doesn't really have to voice the character. All they have to do is do a damn good CGI job, like they did with in Rogue One, and do kind of a flashback, and have him voice the character, and that's it. That's it, and it'll work. It could fit. You gotta remember, J.J. Abrams is directing this, not Ryan freaking Johnson. Ryan, I screwed up Star Wars Johnson.
Big time.
So,
well, you know how upset I was after that.
Yeah, I think everybody was upset. And I think my favorite comment was like, yeah, watch this be it's not going to be a 2-hour Star Wars movie. It's going to be a 3-hour Star Wars movie. And the first hour is J.J. Abrams fixing everything that happened in The Last Jedi. Then it's going to be the movie.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a 3-hour apology.
Hopefully it is. I think what we saw in the trailer, in essence, of what's his name, Ben, fixing the mask is a way of like, yeah, Rian Johnson screwed up. So therefore, we're going back what should have been. So we're fixing. It could be, in essence, Rian Johnson saying, we're fixing things.
What do you think of the title, The Rise of Skywalker? Not a fan.
I'm intrigued.
I'm
intrigued a little bit.
I think it's way too on the nose.
It could mean anything. It could mean that Rey herself is a Skywalker.
Right.
I heard one theory saying that because I think they're stretching, but what their theory was, well, since you hear the Emperor laugh in this, and in the original extended universe, there were clones of the Emperor. What if Rey, in essence, was a clone of Anakin's mom, and she was, in essence, a Force user herself before she gave birth to little orphan Annie? So, yes, I'm going with that joke, folks. Play with it. Therefore, it kind of brings the cycle back around.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how well will I see it in theaters. I will. That way, if there's bitching to be done, I could validate bitching because I've seen it. Therefore, I can bitch about it. I cannot vouch. I will not force Big Candy to see it. If he wishes to see it, that's on him.
It goes without saying that I'm going to go see it.
I'm just saying, I'm not, like I said, even though I'm the main person behind the show, I'm not going to force any person that's a part of the show to go see it. Like I said, I'll see it because in order for me to be, I can't go out and say, alright, don't see this movie, it sucks, this, that, and the other thing, and not have seen it. That way I have more of an argument saying that I've seen it, this is what I found out wrong, that's wrong with it, this is what I saw that was right with it. And I could then add more to it with what else is coming about the movie. So, who knows, in regards to everything, I think when the trailer was being initially shown, the panel at Star Wars Celebration, which is currently happening now still, when I saw it being streamed, I shared it to our channel, so it should be on our Facebook page somewhere on it. So I do recommend going to our Facebook page. Again, it's facebook.com/The Lone Coat Mafia Podcast. So go check it out, or search up Star Wars and you'll see the stream up there. They have several streams up for, I think, on the Star Wars Celebration page too. So if you want to check it out there, you're more than welcome to check it out there. I have no problems and issues with that either.
Yeah.
And I think the actress who plays what's her name, the Asian character, I forgot her name, Rose I think it's Rose in the movie. She got a standing up applause for a standing ovation. I had no issue personally, again, with Star Wars Last Jedi. I had no issue with her character. I just think it was written poorly. She tried to sell it, and it was just written, her character was written very poor. She tried her best with it, I'll say it like that.
That story that had nothing to do with the rest of the story that her and Finn take part in.
Right. I'm just saying.
The part where they leave the battle and go do something else and then come back to the battle. Oh, right. What?
Like I said, you and I agree there were several issues with the movie, but just how they wrote, I'm just saying how they wrote her character was a mess. I'm just saying that I have no issues with her character, just how they wrote it was a mess.
Right. It just takes me back to that dumb movie every time I talk about it.
Now, because as more stuff comes out about Star Wars Episode 9, that comes out in November, which is another 3 months after September, so it's 8 months away. if it was mentioned earlier, it'd be I could probably make a baby joke, but can't.
Well, I'm more excited than to see the Avengers, which is coming out on the 26th, and I actually really want to see Hellboy.
So do I. Even though I could have done things early and see Hellboy, but I'm hearing mixed things about it. Now, I think it right now, because a lot of people are bashing on it, it's suffering from comic book movie syndrome, meaning that what came out by, I think, one of the comic pop culture news sites is that the creator, Mike Mignola, I think his name is, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, he said they tried to keep the movie very comic book based, which means strictly source material, and how Hellboy acts and what he says, and the mannerisms and the theme of the comic. And because of that, the critics hate it, the fans hate it, which is the atypical comic book fan reaction. We hate it. Why? We hate it. It's not good. Well, is it close to the source material? Yes. That's why you hate it. It's not close to the source material. You hate it. It's close to the source material. You hate it. For the fans, there's no in between. They had the same issue with Punisher Warzone when it came out. It had direct fan input. They made it with that input and notes. The same fans that gave their input hated it. It's like, you gave it, and the producers and the folks behind it told those fans, why'd you hate it? Well, you told us that. It's like, you told us this is what has to be in it. We put that in it, like you told us. Well, we hate it. Well, you just proved everybody's point. So, it's weird. You want to comment on anything about it?
Nah, it's all good.
But kind of talking about Star Wars and all that, and quote unquote Skywalker, it came out recently that Mark Hamill will be voicing Chucky in the new Chucky reboot, Child's Play reboot, and I'm of two minds in that. Literally, I'm in two minds. It's like, I really want to hate this because it's a reboot and they're really screwing with the source material, yet Mark Hamill.
Right.
It's like, I want to hate this movie, but I can't really hate it because Mark Hamill's a great voice actor. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, right?
Like, what can I say? It's like, ugh.
I mean, if it holds true to any of the other reboots or reimaginings, like Pet Sematary, people will go running out of the theaters calling it horrible.
Yeah, it would.
No matter who's in it.
The thing is, they'll come walking out of the theater complaining that they hate it, but there'll be that disclaimer. But Mark Hamill,
Right.
Mark Hamill, he killed it. The movie sucked, but Mark Hamill was great in it. That's going to be the reviews from the fans or the people that seen it. Mark Hamill was the best part of the person who voiced Chucky was the best. That's it. That's what you're going to hear. You still there? Okay, just making sure. And kind of that's all I pretty much have in my show notes. But I'm going to give a special shout out today.
Oh, there we go.
A special shout out. And that is, again, from I don't know if he listens or not, but if he made it this far in our show listening, I'm going to give him a shout out. Anyhow, the show royalty, at least on my part, and that is, I'm going to shout out once again, I can't shout him out enough, and that is to George Spike Riel.
There you go.
Why? Is because I got a DM from another podcaster, and I knew when I got the DM that he was going to try to eventually sell me something. I just had that vibe. It was one of the flags that popped up as a hunch. And I'm not going to say this person's name. He says, like, I noticed, his first message was, I noticed your podcast. I'd love to get connected. And my reply was like, listen, I define connect. Because it can mean anything. I want him to elaborate. And I told him, it's like, listen, just to let you know, I don't do networks. Because I don't want to be tied down with any type of restrictions. I'd rather be free range, to use the term. And after, I want to say, close to 24 hours later, he came and said, like, I run a podcast as well as produced others. Mine is, and he gives the his standard link. And I was like, oh, there it is. There's the catch. There's the catch. He wants me to send him my show so he could produce it and edit it. Heck no. No. The person who's going to touch my show is me. I'm going to have as much control, 99.99% control of this show. In regards to everything. But as proven, I do listen to you, Big Candy. I do take input. But his next message after that said, I also voice and produce podcast intros and outros. What we could refer to in radio as imaging. Basically, you're talking bumpers, dumbass. That was my thought. You're talking freaking bumpers, show bumpers. Yeah. And he says, and he goes on. It's like, mind you, he says what we refer to in radio as imaging. He says, I believe every podcast is deserving of a polished sound. Have you considered something fresh for your show? Meaning, I was reading between the lines, like, oh, he doesn't want to produce my show. He wants to sell me it, because when I checked, he was like, I'm a like one of these, like, I do professional voiceovers. Like, oh, he wants me to pay him for professional voiceover. That's what he wants me to do. So my reply to him was, we've gotten our intro and our outro. I said, we have gotten our intro and outro we currently use, plus a few extras already done professionally by George Spike Riel. And I said it before, and George, if you're listening, I'll say it again. I am drastically grateful that you freely gave the show what you did. I'm happy. I am more than happy what you did, and I'm sure Big Candy's happy what he has heard with what you have given the show for free. And if we had the funds to pay for any additional voice work, I'd be more than happy to pay for your services. Flat out. If we needed any extra or custom work, we'd be coming to you first. If we had the funds. Legitimately. And I mean that. And the reason, again, folks at home, when we got the second round of stuff from George Spike Riel, I think it was earlier this year, it's because he offered the same deal he did back in, I think, 2017. 30 words. First 30 people get, 30 words from him, professionally done, for free. This past Christmas, it was the same, in essence, the same deal. I stepped back and waited, I think, more than a week or two. It seemed like. It could have been shorter, but I think I waited at least a few days before I approached him and asked him, are any spots open? Because I wanted other people to take him up on that offer first. Because I did not want to abuse any professional relationship with Spike Riel. Because I didn't want to seem like I was using this gentleman. And when I asked him about it, he said that no one came to me to pick up the offer. I was like, okay, you mind if I step up? And he said, sure. What 30 word offer stands. As long as you're within those guidelines, I'll be happy to do it. He did it within 30 minutes, professionally.
Aww, baby.
So, that's why I have respect for him. And when I finally put this show together, I'll give them the time code for this, and I'll tell them, it's like, listen, I shouted you out again because of something that happened offline. It's like, you have our show's loyalty, and because of what you've done for the show, and I mean it, Spike, if you're listening, you have our loyalty. You have at least mine, professionally. I can't speak for Big Candy.
Never. No, he's good. I like him.
So, and if I ever got a chance to meet him, I would shake his hand. And there might be one other person that I'd go to, but I'd be the kind of person that would, for additional voice work, or to put like bumpers on Skype calls and interviews, but I'd be the person to kind of offer them some sort of funds for their work, but that's later on in the show's lifespan. So, but my first thought would go to Spike. Literally, would go to Spike.
Well, what if he didn't have a hand to shake?
Oh, Spike, I'd say, let me at least shake your foot. Sit down and give me a foot. I'll shake that. I'll shake something other than some other parts.
I was just saying.
But that, like I said, I'm not one person. I respect this person's hustle, but I have, because he did offer up. He says, like, awesome. He was polite. The person did respond to one after I mentioned about what we had. He said, awesome, feel free to reach out if you ever consider switching it up. So I respect this person's hustle. He didn't take offense to what I said, and what I replied to him was professional. We already had stuff professionally done. And George is a professional, and I cannot deny that. So, anything else?
No, I'm good.
Then, that be the case, do you think we should end the show on this note? It's been a hell of a run.
Yes.
So, I shall stop it. Folks, stay tuned for the usual end of show rhetoric, and we'll be right back. And so, for everybody else, do you wish to say goodbye, Big Candy?
What?
What in the butt? Wicca?
See, you'll be back. I won't.
That's right, folks. But maybe Big Candy might be back next week. You don't know. It could be a solo episode. It could be a repeat. But you'll never know. So take care, folks, and I'll be back in a second. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the episode and what we talked about. And again, please excuse kind of like the echo. We were trying to play around. I won't say play around. We're continually learning, even though we've been around for 3.5+ years. So, and that being said, you heard us kind of complain and bitch about the whole aspect of trying to bring you more content through YouTube and other platforms. Thus, over the weekend, since recording this episode, I finally put an application called OBS on our show's laptop. Now, OBS, for those who don't know, is an application that allows the user to stream content that's on their desktop to sites such as Facebook Live, YouTube live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and various other platforms, including Twitch and Mixer. So, therefore, during a test, which I found out that because I have Windows 10 and we're using a Windows 10 machine in regards for the show, I can easily stream what is being played and shown through my Xbox onto my desktop computer, which means I'm able to now stream Xbox One games on YouTube through this weird little hack. So there's going to be a few things that we have to experiment with and try, and you're going to see live streams pop up on YouTube and then get deleted. This is just part of the experimentation process because we are learning. So I will try to announce when we're trying to do these experiments so all of you could hop in. That being said, our YouTube channel, because we only have, again, about 14 subscribers, you have to search up the Long Coat Mafia podcast to become a subscriber if you want to be part of our live streams in regards to chat. So please do so. If you go to YouTube, search up Long Coat Mafia podcast and hit that like button. And also, head on over to, we might do Facebook streaming, game streaming on Facebook. So, I'll decide all that. I'll speak to, Big Candy to compare notes to see what he might think is best. So, that being said, again, our Facebook page is facebook.com/The Long Coat Mafia Podcast. And if you want to join in the conversation on anything we said tonight, you can always do so by sending us an email, which is I almost missaid our email. Our email is longcoatmafia@gmail.com. And you can also send us a direct message on Facebook. Again, our Facebook page is facebook.com/The Long Coat Mafia Podcast. And you can send us a DM. While you're on our Facebook page, click that like button. And if Twitter's your thing, head on over to Long Coat Mafia and click that follow button and follow what we tweet. We tend to tweet a little bit. We tend to be a little bit more active. For right now, we're a little bit more active on Facebook than Twitter, but sometimes we're more active on Twitter than Facebook. So head on to Twitter and follow us there. And speaking of following us, we also do have a Instagram account. It is also Long Coat Mafia. You could also send us a direct message there and see what we're up to, see where we've been. Sometimes we go to different shows and activities around town, so therefore being a part of our Instagram page could be a thing. So please click that follow button on Instagram if you have it on your mobile device. And speaking of mobile devices, I won't say that because I'm almost forgetting. We do have a Twitch account now. It is Long Coat Mafia Pod, capital L, capital M. I think it's. I'll have to look it up. The links will be in the description in regards to that. Let me bring it up. Our channel is on our phone, so it will come up on that. Let's see here. Our channel on. Let's see here. It is no uppercases. It's all one word. It's Long Coat Mafia Pod, and therefore stick to that. I'll try to put up links in regards to when we're streaming on either Mixer or Twitch. Our Mixer channel is LCMP, and those letters are in uppercase. So that being said, you can watch us on your mobile devices. And speaking of mobile devices, you can catch our podcast if you're going mobile on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and the Podbean app. I do recommend the Podbean app because that app will allow you to go all the way back to when we first started recording our episodes. We have a lot of content back there, and plus we have like the interview from this past October with Monique Dupree and various other people, including Ken Hunt. So I do recommend you going back and checking out those interviews. But if you don't really do the whole mobile thing and you rather listen to us on your desktop or laptop computer, we are available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and as well as you can stream or download our episodes through our main website, which is thelongcoatmafia.podbean.com. And that being said, you can listen to any show that we've done throughout our 3.5-year history. And plus, if iTunes decides to go, well, we don't want to let you download the Long Coat Mafia podcast, or whatever your favorite podcast is, you can always go to our website and download the episodes and play it on whatever player you choose to play it on your laptops, whether you use a Mac or a PC. So, and that seems to be about it. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, because again, As I usually state, there's usually exclusive videos on both that you won't find on the other, so it's best for you to follow us on either or. So, that being said, hope all of you have a great week, and I'll speak to all of you next time.
You've been listening to the Longcoat Mafia Podcast, the internet's most hated and mafia-themed geek podcast.